What is up? It is Friday, a chill, crypto, start of summer, and welcome to the trade room. We are back after a bit of time to discuss the markets, blockchain, gaming, and the overall sentiment in the market today with a bit of a theme gameplay, token prices, all of crypto, what is happening. We're going to dig in for about an hour or two. See you on the other side. All right. Let's hop right into things. And as always, I do a sound check because sometimes we have sound issues. Sticks. I'm gonna switch. Shout out to the chat right now. We have Sarge stop by before the stream. Big shout out to him. We're gonna talk about Sarge and Sergeant Filthy McNasty, who is in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. These graphics we have or avatars me and Mega have, how that flows. But yes, I'm going to swap my mic out when I throw one of my favorite Jewelers Guild masters into this. We'll talk about the theme of this as well. But what do we have on our slate tonight? And again, I'm going to switch my mic out, so bear with me for now. What do we have on our slate tonight? What's going on in crypto? What's going on in investing? We're going to talk very niche about DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem, the different launches that they have put in place. And the overall question is playing my favorite blockchain game, the recent updates, where it's going, and where does that play out for how we like to track the markets here in the charts with Bitcoin and where the overall market is. And we may even talk a little of fundamental things around the world that are affecting the market too. So, come hang out tonight. It's a Friday night. It's starting to get hot, at least in North America. So that is the main question for tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to welcome the one and only Megalodon himself, Jewelers Master. How we doing tonight?
What's good, Trade? I'm doing good. A little sick, a little under the weather, but we're here. We're ready to talk some crypto, baby. And we got a loaded show, so excited.
Yeah. I mean, that seasonal change, man. When that seasonal change comes, I had allergies like crazy for maybe like 3-4 weeks. And it started to settle down. But again, big shout out to Sticks intern in the chat. Listen, the graphic that we have here, the graphic you see down here with the trade with Omega, there's a story to that. We're going to tell it. I know it's one of Sticks interns, one of his favorite moments in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, just because of a silly tweet that I put out there. But Mega, what's going on with you, man? I'm going to talk about what I've been doing in all this ebb and flow of the market, I think by this point, there's a consensus that this cycle was kind of different,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And it's different in a way because it's not throw anything at a wall and it's gonna run like crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Needed to pick some winners this run, right? And so, what does that say for blockchain gaming and even DeFi kingdoms as we go it more niche and into what is the last phase of this bull market going to look like, not only now and moving forward. You know, I want to talk about what I've been doing with this game that jewel price has been going down almost since inception, right? After its first 10 months. So, what are you doing? I know you're a Bitcoiner now. I'm surprised your background is not orange and you have the laser eyes. Like I this turn you've made, you gotta talk about it because
Yeah, it's been fast, bro. I mean,
yeah.
so just overall, this is my second, what you might call full cycle.
Okay.
And this one, just basing it off those two, this one's very different, dude. And you talked about it kind of in the lead up on how things could be different and how much longer do we have? I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, like you said, I've been orange pilled. I'm stacking sats and I'm stacking some alts though still for some bigger risk return, you know what I mean? But
Right.
in DeFi Kingdom specifically, there are still some opportunities to make some bread. You got to spend bread to make the bread. It does seem
Mm.
like, but we're going to talk about another one that has just released the burning system of
Mm.
Greater Divine Essence and Divine Essence, and I've been having some fun with that, re-rolling some heroes as well. But I think, I think I'm a seller of some of the essence here to some of the buyers in the future.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. We talk about different strategies in the game. For a bit of time, the team focused on gameplay, and I think this mechanism that they just put in with Divine Essence is like a merger of gameplay and the DeFi aspect, which actually really excites me. And I'll talk about other features of the new, upgrades, patches that you know to somebody who wants to play both sides. It feels pretty awesome. It feels pretty bullish, at least from a macro person's point of view. So all right, cool. So like I said, we're looking at this as individuals who just generally like playing a game. And we're looking to see, what the recent updates are, where it's going. And then, really and truly is like, oh, the questions we have, right? We've been, what questions are you asking yourself partaking in this ecosystem? Because quite honestly, if you look to the furthest, let's say, right of those who have come in and out of not only crypto gaming, but if you look at investors who weren't able to invest in the proper cycle every 4 years, they will have a jaded vision of what the proper protocol to follow through an ecosystem is. And so individuals who have come in and out, what questions are they asking themselves? Whether they're haters of this ecosystem or bulls in this ecosystem. And ultimately, before we finish this stream, is DeFi Kingdoms dead? Is crypto gaming not a feasible thing, right? We're going to dissect it now from micro to macro. Is the bull run nearing an end with some altcoins unable to perform? Does that mean that the ecosystem that wasn't able to perform this cycle doesn't have strength to perform next cycle, right? And so we'll talk about some of those things to end this, and all throughout that process, we're going gangbusters in some of the best features within this game. There's some of the new ones, some of the old ones, some were just killed. Some features are just killed, which duels, one of the first ever gameplays was killed. Right? We have
RIP duels,
lot
bro.
to get into. So we're gonna jump right into it. As we're taking out some of these subjects, we're gonna be gangbuster using some of these features in the ecosystem. So if you are a fan of that, if you still enjoy playing this game, or if you've been away for a while and are wondering what is going on in this ecosystem and you learn something new, or you get somebody else's perspective that has you think twice, make sure to put a thumbs up and subscribe because we are going to be, categorizing the end of the market, what's going on with our favorite ecosystems, and then that preparation for the bull market. And I may not be able to do as many videos as I normally do, so there will be maybe not as much, but they will be filled with gems, hopefully. All right, Mega. So I think I, we're gonna hop right into the game. Let me see about sharing my screen here. We're gonna hop right into the game, but as macro people, as we hop into the game, I want to hear your opinion on, where do you think the market is? Because what I've seen is a change from you. You find value in ecosystems, but you can also swing when you want to, right? Because you're a gamer, but you also like to make some money as well, right? So
Of
I've seen
course.
your perspective change from high risk, big swings to uh, more stable, long term assets that you're holding. But at the same time, just like a lot of us that go through a lot of these cycles, we then know, yeah, you can take the higher riskier thing, but let that be 10%, 20%, even if you're the safest person, only 5% of the total value that you're playing within whatever ecosystem. What are you seeing with just the markets and crypto overall going into the end of 2025? And then we'll dissect deeper and end up doing some of the inside gameplay when you narrow it down to blockchain gaming. What have you been seeing in the market? What are your what do you see coming, and how are you currently in the short term playing what's happening and it's in crypto gaming as well?
Yeah, dude. So, um, short term wise, I mean, you have seen that transition for me at least. Um, within what I've been feeling is I don't want to time the market anymore. So, I'll stack and kind of along those ratios that you're talking. Of course, there's those degenerate, high risk, high high reward opportunities out here. I mean, that's crypto. But like you said, kind of limiting that to 5 to 10% of the port, giving a really small portion of that and kind of leaning into the gaming topic there. A lot of the gaming projects that have come are truly Ponzi's at the surface. I mean, that's kind of where DeFi Kingdom started as well, but they have pulled out and developed a full fledged game almost at this point. So a change there, but a lot of the new projects coming out are either farming for a token generation event or to farm some liquidity and hopefully prop up their product, with some funds to begin. And in that's where you get that Ponzi nomics and you get some people earning massive 100x's and then some people jumping in too late and just losing basically 99% of everything they've dumped in. So for me, I'm trying to avoid a lot of those, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The meme coins were fun, but that to me nowadays just looks like a liquidity extraction type of
Mm-hmm.
deal. I mean, of these devs, most of which are botted, you know what I mean, and coded and programmed to literally just drop tokens on random news, random tweets, random accounts. Elon tweets something, instantly you see 20 tokens on the meme board. So I'm staying away from that kind of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's what kind of led me into stacking sats,
Mm-hmm.
more religiously because I took a step back and was like, at some point, man, if I would just put every cent and not even looked at any of this other degenerate stuff, and I've made some 100x's within the ecosystem. If I would have still just put every cent into Bitcoin, man, I would be
Mm-hmm.
up tremendously. So
Right.
that's where it comes from. And one thing for certain, trade, the government's going to keep printing money regardless. So
Mm-hmm.
that's never going to stop, regardless of how bad either side of the political system wants it to. Whether they say they do or not is another thing, but they never do. They never stop. So death is for certain. Money printer is for certain, and we're gonna be stacking sats because of that. So,
Yeah, for sure. No, that was well said. By the way, is my voice coming out decently?
oh, it's actually much smoother.
Oh,
That
beautiful,
mic's much better.
beautiful. Yeah, the mic that I actually use, I left in my car and then my wife took it, so now I had to go back to the back in the day one I was using. But no, I hear you on on that notion. Uh, a lot of uncertainty right now, and you got to be able to if you're going to partake in a risky ecosystem, because crypto is already risky, investing itself is already risky. So you have to be able to strategize a portfolio that's going to work for you for 10 to 20 years. If you don't come into any ecosystem with a macro mindset, yes, you're not going to win. That's just point blank, right? And so a lot of the riskier wins won't outweigh the traditional way that you should have played the crypto market, similar to the stock market, similar to the housing market, similar to the credit market. There has to be a mechanism that you're going into the top safe assets within that ecosystem and then branch into riskier, ones from there. So being a Bitcoin holder for sure in bear markets, but you can plan for that, right? Even in a bull market, you can set your automatic buys in the bull market. And then you can branch out by holding 2 or 3 other, 4 other, 5 other tokens, depending on what's going on, in your life. But from 3 cycles, me being here 3 cycles, Mega being here 2 cycles, that's just what it is. And then if 5 to 10% is sitting in a blockchain game or a secondary altcoin that also has a large market cap, Ethereum, XRP, AVAX, Solana, whatever floats your boat with whatever minimal or extensive research that you've actually done. And so we can see in this cycle, one of the top runners has been XRP, but also to Solana. Those I think will have been the 2 top winners. And now we're seeing recently Sui and others perform very well, but those are selective tokens in different categories that have run well against what the rest of altcoins have done. And unfortunately, with everything we're going to play through tonight, there may be a chance of another 30% drop for the altcoins, but we'll talk about that one.
Trey, did we lose you? Or is it just me?
Yeah, hello, did I cut off?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We got you back.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, we heard everything. It just muted for a quick second. You're back now, though.
Oh, man. All right, let me double check what's going on here. Yep, mic check.
We're good. We're good. Good to go. Oh, not anymore.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me
There
now?
we go. There we go.
Oh my
We're back.
gosh. There we go. There were like 5 mute settings. There we go. There were like
Mute
5.
section.
Yeah, there are like 5 mute settings that I had to get through. And this is another reason why I'm not a fan of these headphones that
Yeah.
that I have
I
to switch
hear
to.
you
But how
there.
long was I out for?
Oh, no, we heard everything until I said something.
Oh, gotcha.
And so it was less than 5 seconds where it looked like you were talking.
For sure.
So we're
for
good
sure.
to go.
All right, cool. So I don't even remember where we were, but I was saying we're gonna get in game and start ripping some things.
Yeah. And real quick, you were talking alts. I wanted to get your opinion on one that, is kind of gated in the States, but it's a really, really good experience from what I've used, and I've had to use a VPN for it. I'm not going to lie. But Hyperliquid and their exchange, one of these tokens where I faded at $10, I faded at 20, and we're sitting at almost 40. We ran a 37, 38. I think it's closer to 33, 34 right now. I haven't checked today. But I believe it's like 11th to 15th or so in market cap overall. And what's your thoughts on this ecosystem? Have you dove in yet?
So I have not dove into this ecosystem. I know individuals like Asem.
Yeah, he's been big on it lately, and he was big on Soul, and That's why I'm wondering if it truly could. It's such a high market cap already, but could it
Yeah.
have another 2-3x in it?
Yeah, I mean, if you as an investor, if the a 2-3x is what you're looking for, then you can kind of track to see if on an asset like this it's possible. And when I just want to quickly chart it, because I don't really follow this ecosystem, I have my winners. When I see something that's really popular, especially in times where I think it is near the end, back towards of the bull market opposed to the early days, I'll wait to reanalyze some of these top ones closer to a bear market.
Okay.
Especially because it's in this type of price range where it's above the pennies, where I can't play the numbers game with it in terms of units. When I look at it, it does say $84 is where it can go, and from where it is right now, 369. That is a 2x. It's close enough to a 2x.
So
Especially if there may be some DeFi incentive where you're getting other yield while holding this token, then you can multiply the X's. But yeah, I do know it's very popular. But looking at the chart right now, could make a little correction to 27, especially with the pullback that we're projecting here. But ultimately, even if it goes that low from that possible support area, exactly a 200x. So if you're looking for a 2 or 3x, this would be something you need to get into. For me, because it's such a high market cap and it's so late in the cycle, I don't want to be buying something like this.
it seems like
At the moment.
somewhat of like a last ditch shill effort from, and I respect Ansem a lot, but
Mhm.
seems like you had your James Wynn liquidations and his longs on leverage on hype. He
Mhm.
was using that platform, and that seemed like that's what some people were like. Is this the only catalyst? And it's gated in USA. I mean, people will use VPNs to get on it, but it's
Yeah,
gated. It's not the easiest experience. There's not like just log in, create account, deposit money. It's kind of um, a little harder than that simply. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah. For me, even like with Dog with Hat and all the other stuff he's gotten on, I have never gotten into those because simply put, what he does well is he's able to isolate like very niche trends that he's able to then kind of get with others to push some liquidity. It doesn't take much to push liquidity in crypto. Like, come on,
right.
you know what I'm
Sergeant
saying?
says
So
something interesting though. And it does feel this way for a lot of crypto. I mean, especially the big dogs, but feels like the days of 100x's are gone. 2 to 5x is the new meta, in his opinion. Maybe small brain here. No, I'm kind of with that, dude, because especially these bigger ones. I mean, that's kind of you're not going to see 100x on Bitcoin. You're not going to see 100x, or at least not in 4 years. Um, some people have $13 million price predictions of Bitcoin, which I mean,
what
I
for
guess
this
that's
cycle?
no, not this
Uh,
cycle, of course, but
oh,
we're
okay,
talking closer towards, 20 global adoption, country
okay,
adoption, much,
okay,
much
gotcha.
larger. But, um, yeah, dude, a lot of it, unless you're in the meme coin
Yeah,
casino, you're not seeing 100x's even on new up and coming projects, unless I guess you're in before
yeah.
the coin even
So
drops.
so this is what I would say to that. There's such a term as diminishing returns, right? So there's a bell curve of when there's a new asset class or gold or whatever. There's a bell curve of its most parabolic period, and then volatility drops, and if it's actually something valid, it stabilizes, right? And so we're seeing crypto go through its bell curve right now over the last 16, 15 years or so. And the more Bitcoin stabilizes, the less 100x's will be out there. So I agree on that notion. But I do think that now those 100x's will no longer happen in 3 to 6 months, right? From meme coins. Those 100x's now will happen over cycles. So they're still far within, but I think they happen over cycles. And I think that even plays more to the advantage of the macro planners, right? Because within a 10-year, 15-year plan, if you go after 7 assets, and 4 of them are super safe or 5 of them are super safe, and then 2 of them are 100x's, if one of them hits for you, that's a 1 to 10 ratio or a 1 to 100 ratio, it can surpass your safer assets. And so there's a way to play it to still get 100x's, but I do agree with the general sentiment of crypto because sentiment speaks the truth. I do agree that it's no longer those 4 to 6 month swings. It's more so going to be over a period of time, which is still pretty sweet. I mean, 100x over a 3 to 4 year period is still pretty sweet. I come on, crypto people, like So when you look at it in that lens, you really hunker down and try to focus on what your top 10 are, what your top 7 are over a long period of time. That's kind of my opinion on those type of things. But I never jump into anything that's already above $1 billion market cap. That's a possible risky move. I will look for something in its same sector, whether it's meme coins, whether it's DeFi, whether it's layer ones, whether it's just altcoins. I will look for the top 2 or 3 or 4 in that sector and try to ride that wave, knowing it may be playing behind the primary asset. But yeah, not to have a long drawn out response to that, but yeah, it's a real feeling that we see in the market, and there's an adjustment that has to be made to that. So I actually feel like, like NFT holders, OG ones that hold whatever the top cultural thing is in crypto, they're gonna make a pretty penny, right? Because once there's 20 years, 30 years in this ecosystem, what assets or NFTs, even art NFTs, caught the captured the minds of the people, the humans who lived or were part of the first 30 to 50 years of this type of financial ecosystem. So there's going to be culture, there's going to be fandom, and some of those are going to be represented in NFTs that people will also make a lot of money from. But thinking long term is the way to go about that riskier play for sure. So let's go bang some heads here. But that was a good question. Oh shoot, that was a good question, Mega. And throughout some of these interactions, we're going to look for opportunities when it matches to then say, what does that type of interpretation mean for DeFi Kingdoms? What is that type of interpretation about that long play, about the 100x's that will be here, but they will be here through cycles? How does that reverberate? How does that mindset and that mind thinking reverberate back to DeFi Kingdoms and the questions that we have for this game? So I'm going to tell you what I have lined up for tonight. I know that there was like a tournament, that went on at 9. I don't know how that played out or anything like that. But what we have lined up for tonight, I have dark summons, I have regular summons. And this is gameplay side, right? We said we're doing gameplay and asset prices. So we've done a little bit about the asset prices and some theories in the market. Now we're going to get to when you go from the bigger aspect of being a safe macro investor in 10, 15 years. We're going to dive now into where are those niches for 100x's. And those niches for 100x's are in crypto gaming, right? The phenomena that have yet to capture the human mind, right? Where are those in crypto right now? One, they are in stablecoin providers, right? Or stablecoin builders or stablecoin protocols that live within a blockchain. So when we talk about like Curve, we're talking about USDC, USDT, and the other stable coins. Even now, Ripple uses the XRP blockchain to have their own stable coin because there is a lot of money to be made in stable coin. So that's one niche one that nobody's looking at. Then you have DeFi, decentralized finance. That's another niche ecosystem where whoever wins from there or captures the human psyche will make a lot of money, possibly 100x. There are communication systems like API providers where we have, let me not forget the name of this token here. I'm going to hate myself for not getting this token. Let me look quickly at the chart here. Link, Chainlink. How could I forget Chainlink? API providers like Chainlink, right? There are those that are out there too. That are niche. That if you pick the right one with where the technology is going, that's a possible 100x. Then you have meme coins, the riskiest of all riskiest. Then you have blockchain gaming, which I think is going to do super well. Then you have social sites, which in AVAX there's an ecosystem for that as well. So Mega, I have a question. While I get ready to go to the divine altar and cash out on some rituals that are ready for me to try to talk about not only the gaming aspect, but what combines the gaming and the asset prices portion of things. Um, you know, I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is at the current moment when it comes to DeFi kingdoms, if we're going niche into the gaming portion of things, what is the primary focus on what are you doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, great question. For me, I am diving in a little bit. I have taken advantage of, like you see there, a 5x or so on the bonuses for these burnings, these greater divine essence and divine essence burns. I burnt some kind of fluff in my wallet. You know, I'm not burning the traits. I'm not burning all my dread knights, but I am burning almost every over time. Not, I haven't done it all yet, almost every advanced, elite, and some dread knights because the value is here. I mean, these are new tokens.
Dread Knights too.
Yes, dude. Because for me, I mean, I can't, and I love the dread knights, and I'd like to have a good one. I kept my legendary. It's a nice one with a greater stone on it, and that's gonna be the only one over time I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna use the summons on the others and then burn them because we're not gonna see dread knights at use, in my opinion, for years. So I need, it's my money and I want it now type of thing. So I'm gonna burn some heroes, get some, and it's not only to I'm not taking it all straight to USDC, but I do want some of these materials so I don't have to pay out the ass for it myself in case I want to re-roll a hero, in case I want to reset a hero. So yeah, transcend it, baby. Six Intern says that's the way to do it in today's PvP ecosystem, in today's PvP landscape, if you will, to compete at the highest level, dude. I mean, within a week, all my best outlier heroes are they're just average. It's insane. People are re-rolling heroes and creating 300 stats, total stats at level 20 with ease, 1500 HP priests, 1500 HP archers. I got some beef with it overall, to be honest, because like I said, those people who maybe their edge was one hero who had really great levels, really great HP, that's just gone within a flash, and I got nothing to show for it. I mean, yes, people can say you can re-roll it, but my edge is gone on those heroes that I've already put, perfect levels on, and it's RNG, but it does suck.
Okay, so this is pretty cool, right? Because this comes from the perspective of somebody who really focused on making some monstars through whatever the cost basis is for a elongated period. So when you have a system like this, it kind of like solves a really major issue, which we'll speak on some more, but it does twinker the game mechanics a bit, where those who maybe have been more invested in the actual gaming and preparing heroes for gaming and use resources for that may feel like, oh, my heroes have been devalued. And so that's an interesting aspect from those who are current players that play, and are now trying to figure it out. But even for those players, even if you may feel some way, now you still have to go in there and find a way to include that in a part of your strategy. And so if you're able to take advantage of multipliers and you have Beast, I mean, the translation is pretty badass of what you get back in return. And so when you talk about, blockchain gaming and different mechanisms in blockchain gaming, yes, a lot of people are very focused on the fun part, and I need to feel like this is a great game, and oh my goodness, so many changes and things of that nature. But when you look at the protocols that get put in this game. I look at Divine Essence in terms of it serving a instant liquidity, and as Sergeant Filthy McNasty says there, instant gratification. Um, I see that as instant liquidity. That's the verbiage that I will use for that. Is instant liquidity. How
Mhm.
often have you seen heroes sitting on a tavern? Nothing happens. Just absolutely nothing happens, and you're kind of like knowing the price you're asking for, and somebody has to get it at right here instantly. You get a value for it. You can go to the trader, transfer it to whatever you want to do. And when you're able to find players other ways to get instant liquidity, right now the only instant liquidity that lives in this game is through a lot of the honk pools, which honk is boy, oh boy, talk about something. It's tell about Tally Burton, hold my nuts, right? Honk throughout the longevity of Defikingdoms, and it's been there. It has always been a very strong holder, and it's because they are kind of gritty and they provide a lot of liquidity within the game, so that makes you a boss in the ecosystem. We have it
Shout
through
out Honk, man. Shout out Honk.
yeah, shout out Honk. We have it through Jewel, but hey, you see how the last 3 years have gone, right? And then we really had a hard time finding it in our heroes. And what this is going to do is this is going to accelerate anything that is a deflationary asset. It's going to drive more transactions. It is bigger than just one additional feature in the game.
Yeah, and I want to throw this fact in. I think we had 30K heroes burnt, which is a pretty good number. And that was like the first day or two. So
right. And
good
and that's a pretty good number. And me, quite honestly, I've always wanted to implement cleaning out my deck of cards, because again, you talk about liquidity, you talk about instant gratification. When you have a deck of cards and you want to shuffle it, but you can't get the resources to shuffle it, like we're in a digital realm, right? This is not no what is this commercial I see on YouTube where you got to go buy the cards, you rip them up, you look at it, and if it just sucks, you just throw them away. This is giving you the ability to shuffle your cards over a period of time to try to have some unbelievable NFTs down the line as a collector that you know are going to sit at some respectable value, right?
yes. Yo, speaking of Honk as well, TuneFed, shout out TuneFed jumping in the chat. 160 days of Honk Miss Void Hunt raffle going all the way to the end of the year, I believe.
What
starts next week? So
No
five winners every day in the
No
hunts.
way.
I'm gonna be hunting back. I think
Yo,
I'm back in there.
Do you see what I'm talking about? They are disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And utilizing this protocol to a certain way where, sure, it's going to benefit the community, it's going to benefit us, it's going to provide liquidity. And they're just doing it ruthlessly. Now they have strong opinions sometimes in their Discord. I mean, yeah, for sure, but they're also heavily invested, right? So I get it a little bit. But yeah, shout out to TuneFed. We have Sarge in the chat saying, I think it's been great for wallets with heroes that could use those rerolls. I think I should be able to actually show my comments here. Let me pull up what we got going. Yeah. So Sarge says, I think it's great for wallets with heroes that could use those rerolls. Maybe at the cost of builders who were selling. I think the pendulum will swing back in the long run. Okay. So Sarge, I actually like that. It's a swing of the pendulum, and in my opinion, when you're swinging in a economic kind of protocol or DeFi mechanism, you have to be able to do things that swings the pendulum, but eventually you want that pendulum to balance so that whatever things are those natural value, natural resources in the game can find liquidity and stay there, right? And that's how you grow long-term value in collectibles and in gaming, at least from the research that I have done. So I don't think it lasts too long. I do agree with that as well. But when you allow liquidity to be very open and to swing, now you allow the ability, or you open up those windows for 100x, and not 100x in 3 months because there are high interest or high yield available, or so a bunch of like 30 influencers gassed it for 6 months and it was a pump and dump. And no, you're able to get the 100x that might return to a 30x until the next cycle, because it has long-term mechanisms to provide swing of liquidity as it grows with the rest of the market. And so as long as this ecosystem is able to maintain the flow of liquidity, even with, let's say, 1,000 players, even at the least 300 players, it's maintainable to still be able to create a gem. But we won't talk too much about the back end on what it takes to manage a ecosystem like this. But the reason why I'm going geeky on this is because the technology, we always forget about the technology. We always forget about the intellectual property. This is very historic, and we're going to see how this possibly affects Jewel, because in blockchain gaming, Defikingdoms has always been an innovator. Other games come in and you can be an active shooter game, you can be this, you can be that, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the business of crypto, your game could be as fun as it can be, but if you don't have a functional ecosystem, no one's going to play your game. At least you're not going to get every single type of human to come in and play your game. So I am uber bullish on this, that I can get instant liquidity wherever I've decided to hold it and then make a decision. Mm-hmm. And so for even individuals who know how to play trends and trade, it now feels easier to do that in this ecosystem. And even though you may sell to do whatever you need to do in life, you also know you can play different strategies within that ecosystem. So without further ado, all right, I popped my Divine Altar Cherry. I popped it yesterday. No, I popped it. I've been popping it for 2 days now. So I'm gonna light this off, and then we'll talk about the other side of what I'm doing, which is going for a resurrection zombie army.
Ooh.
Right? We're talking long term. I'm no longer doing this short term stuff. Like the tournaments. Yeah, maybe like when it starts getting to like 2 months before the big hoopla, I'll go in there and try to sneak in 1 win out of 10, tries or whatever, right? But we're planning for the future, and so that's good feedback on there, Mega. I'm gonna go ahead and rock this off, but so how much value, how many heroes have you sold in percentage to your wallet, and how much value have you been able to pull from your wallet to, let's say, do X, right? You don't have to talk hard numbers. I'll give you some quick numbers of my own. So far, out of like 700 heroes or 600 heroes, I've been able to pull, and I'll quickly even drop this. I'll drop this. Let me drop this screen here. So if you see in this snapshot that I have here, 10,000 10,000 divine essence, maybe on Friday was around $442. And so we're going to check what 10,000 divine essence is now, because I've been watching the chart, and I do agree with Sarge that it may not last long. So part of my strategy has been to put some in Jewel, put some in Crystal, but also to put some in USDC, because if my analysis, and again, I'm just putting a game out there. If my analysis is that Bitcoin is going to correct pretty aggressively, even if it makes its way back to 12,000, 13,000, which I think it will, if we go back to the 92 thousands, everything is going to be a lot cheaper, but I still need things in order to work this ecosystem. So every hero I've been able to sell, I've kept in USDC. I've used some to go for my resurrection army, and then I've used some to just make sure, I'm able to do professions and things of that nature. And so what have you been doing with the divine essence strategy? What percentage of your account are you selling? How are you going into this with? Because I know you've had to re-roll some as well, so you haven't spent some.
So for me, my portfolio, my heroes, I mean, at this moment, definitely less than 5% of my wallet I've burnt, but that's because I wanted to get some in. I wanted to get my taste, if you will, but also I wanted to I want to give a deep dive into my wallet, see what I can reroll, see what's, might be worth just selling overall in the DGen dungeon or in via this system with the instant liquidity that you're saying, which again is beautiful and an incredible system overall. So I'm excited for that factor in order to kind of dive into that realm. I see myself potentially burning up to 50% of my wallet. I'm okay with consolidating with this event because there's so much in it. I'm okay with getting that done and having teams locked in for maybe some hunts teams, maybe some PvP teams, maybe some resource hunters, and that's just about it for me. I'm fine with that. Maybe some summoners as well, of course.
Yeah, for sure. So I like that strategy because you're still coming in and you're still, been actively playing the tournaments. We've seen some jewelers with the tournaments, their statistics get better as they've played in leading into this, this pot that's going to be at the end of the tunnel. So I'd always encourage those who are going into doing the tournaments to make sure you're able to keep up with
Yeah, and dude, real quick, I want to shout out an update because we didn't go live yesterday, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
The team dropped, and it's going live. I think today it's live. You can get any entry into a paid tournament by the team, like a daily skirmish or a weekend warrior. Any player, any entry gets a banded chest, which is a little bit of that instant gratification. So today I got one. I placed like top 8, so I didn't get that top 5 or top 4 prize. But I got the banded chest. I ended up getting a regular stone and I think a greater crystal. So like that's pretty solid return, at least something back for playing the tournament. I mean, it's not super expensive buy-ins, but you do lose that money and you get realistically nothing in return. The Revengers tokens, once you stack more than 10 of them, you're not going to use them all. So I actually got one I could open up on the show later on tonight as well. I'll show you what's in those.
What are you opening up?
It's the new banded chest. So whenever you play a PvP tournament, at least now you get a reward back.
You get a reward. That's beautiful. That's
as long
beautiful.
as it's a paid tournament.
That's beautiful. That's good to know. And on top of that, that's part of some of the new additions that have been part of the game, which is even the chests that are provided for boar hunting, right? Should drive some more volume back to boar hunting. And I love it because even without those features, I was somebody who was gonna grind 3 to 5 hunts for the next 1 year trying to get the best of all equipment, trying to level my heroes up as well. So when you add these other incentives, it makes it should increase the volume of boar hunting, but it gives that additional value, additional incentive, and being able to shut down DFK duels, RIP DFK duels have allowed some of these
that's where those rewards come from.
Right,
Yeah,
rewards to be reallocated. So what kind of effect has this had, right? And we see that a 10,000 GDE greater GDE is $435. All right. Now I've seen from and we'll see the heroes that I burn. You may, if you're lucky, if you have a batch of 10, get I don't know, from what I've seen so far, get like maybe 60 to 100 greater if you really go ham with high value heroes.
You don't get a ton back, so I mean, you do have to burn some good stuff if you're looking for that type of payout.
You do, but if you want $400 of value and you say I want a week to be able to pull all this by managing and skimming out my wallet, you can get there faster by then leaving it on the tavern. So we will watch the prices of what 10,000 GDE is, or greater GDE compared to 10,000 GDE, which is $170, $180 at the moment. And I've actually gotten very close to that with only 2 days of kind of skimming my wallet. So we'll see what those ratios are. The chart does exist on Dex Screener as well. So we'll be tracking that right now in comparison to the Jewel USD chart. It's about 43 cents right now, I believe. Let me double check that. I'm sorry, it's 26 cents right now. It's 26 cents right now. So we'll see kind of where it goes. But I'm going to go ahead and pop these.
Let's go.
I went
Baby.
ahead and this wasn't the best, but I am burning my I think level 18 rare warrior that was stoned, and we'll see what I get out of this. I do think what is that dark summon feature? Like if it's dark summon, you can't get a stone or
So
greater.
yeah, so if it's dark summoned, you don't get base greater divine essence. That comes from the portal summoned heroes. If it's dark summoned, you also get void shards as a reward instead. So it's a little different.
So with the portal summon heroes, you get a chance at greater.
Yes, with the portal summons, you guarantee at least some greater divine essence back, if I'm not mistaken. You can also a dark summon hero can also get some greater divine essence with the stone, I think, and crystals used, I believe.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, you don't get it guaranteed.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's your rewards.
So yeah,
Okay.
here's my rewards.
Nice stack.
Put a little some together. I got like 1.8 greater, but I got a nice bag of divine essence and some additional stuff because I'm always playing my heroes. I'm always leveling them up. I used to get them from duels, but I'm glad they've combined some of those features in here as well. And another thing that's going RIP are the raffles.
Yep. Use your tickets.
Use your tickets. I started using mine. I think I had over 100,000 tickets just chilling there.
So I am gonna I'm looking through my heroes of stuff to burn while we're talking through it. I got that itch trade. You got me.
Yeah, let's go. Speaking of burning, but go ahead. Tell me what you got. What you got lined up.
I'm gonna summon for a Dread Knight and then burn the Dread Knight that I summon with right away.
Okay.
So.
Listen, that's so crazy.
Summon in like 5 minutes.
That's pretty dope. That's so crazy because I have a similar setup. And I'll talk about what kind of my strategy has been. But yeah, speaking of summoning, we're gonna go to the portal, and I like what you're saying about portal heroes having chances of the graders, because if you have a long-term mindset, in order to do my resurrection army, I've had to use the portal because you need to have, if you want to get to those purple traits, you need to start with either a six life hero or a 8 life or a 10 summons.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, it's such a long journey to get to resurrection that or those even those more advanced traits or those elite traits. It's harder to get there because you need chances, right? You need chances and those multipliers. So what I learned after being in this ecosystem for a long time was start with a 10 out of 10 if you can find. What are you looking for? And smash your way there. Through that process, you will have a batch that you just will have and you'll never sell. And most likely you'll get to your end goal. So my strategy, knowing that we have all these features that can allow resummons, reshuffles, things of that nature, I'm just going to keep my battle ready heroes right now and train like Rocky, know them well, and go into maybe five tournaments when there's like a higher prize because it's the end of the tournament season and we're gonna crank it up a little bit, right? I'll go for something. But now what I'm doing is picking what I want my find your legion, claim your legacy, right? That is the theme of this game. We're playing a game, okay? We're playing a game. Remember that. Find your legion, claim your legacy. So if I'm going to still think about this long-term mindset of the game, then I know that the traits are going to be hands down alpha. I don't think that anything else but the traits are going to be alpha. And so I'm trying to build a zombie army because I foresee in the future we're going to be able to send multiple heroes out. And if I'm fucking popping up like and just resurrecting my whole 12 crew with other trades back behind it, I'm not a very skilled player, but if I can create my own cheat code, I'm going to do that because come down the line when it's not $10,000 that's for the tournament, we're talking $500,000. I'm going to bring value as a team member to whatever guild I'm a part of. And my value is the Resurrection King. You know what I'm saying?
I love
There's
that.
some people on Mythic Squad that I've seen some things. But they're not ready for what I'm about to put out there. And if you see any other person implementing this strategy, you know where it comes from. But look, I love to share. I love to document my trades, I document my game as well. So the first summon that I have here is, and I'll share this combo here, is my Resurrection army has started with archers. Okay. I got a Berserker Resurrection the other day. I don't know what the hell to do with it, but it's a Resurrection. He's going to be a part of my army. I've been going for a double Resurrection, which I was able to summon basic traits to advanced traits. Or I was able to take I was able to take advanced traits into elite traits by getting a double stun archer.
Oh, that'd be so
Yeah,
nasty,
a
bro.
double stun archer, which I have right here, as you can see. Is this the double stun one? No, this is the stun and the days. No, I have a double stun one. Let me see. Oh, I must have X'd out of it. Okay, so I have a double stun one that I believe I'm dark summoning with, but we'll see. So this is a regular summon here. I believe this is the archer priest pair. And we have a chance at resurrection and stun. There we go. There was a chance at resurrection and stun. And if I just
that chance at double stun, like you said, is like
right.
kinda as well.
Right, exactly. That's kind of fire as well, or even stun in second wind.
Hey, that's a big win of a backup if you end up there. So
exactly. So if I'm able to get these portal summons, crank out from with a level, like have like 6 stun summons, I'm gonna be able to crank out what I want, but I'm also gonna be able to take high trait heroes back to the either dark summoner because now they're extra incentives, or back to the divine altar and get more out of it. And so if I build this army, depending on what the flow of the value is, I can go kind of where I want. So
and you kind of see where that liquidity flywheel, like you're saying, flows better, because before you hit a summon that could be a valuable hero, you can only list it. If you don't want it and you want to kind of recycle that liquidity, you have to list it and wait. And now you can literally summon, dump it into DE, dump it into GDE, and start that cycle all over again.
Right. So now we're talking gameplay. Not only gameplay, but how that fits into the token prices, token value. How now it's very exciting to play if you're both type of people. We can complain about the gameplay stuff because it's still building. Look at Grand Theft Auto. It's been over 10 years, and it's only been 3.5 years in this blockchain gaming ecosystem with Defikingdoms. But when you start meshing both ends and both ends feel fun, I can get instant liquidity and make decisions in the games no matter what I'm holding. That feels great. So let's see what we get out of this summoning pair. We're waiting for this transaction to finish here. Okay, we got an archer.
Okay, that's what we wanted.
That's what we wanted. Ooh, it is a common, but we got 2 summons.
Archer, though.
We threw a little vigor stone at it because again, just got
decimated.
So
you got anything in the recessives though?
I don't even be caring about checking the recessives.
Hey, we can burn it. No,
stun. Okay.
See?
Okay.
It's worth something. At least you got 2 summons. You could burn them on something. Hope the recessives pull out and then burn them in the pit.
I don't even play the recessive game, but you know what? Quite honestly, I'd love to see and learn how others play the recessive game, because the way that I've done it is like decently efficient enough for me.
Yeah.
But I would love to know what that looks like.
It's a lotto ticket for sure. What's this one coming up as well?
So this one is gonna be 2 nights, because now that I've gotten the Resurrection Archer, I can try to build my way to trying to get a mythic Resurrection Archer, right? That's the whole goal, right? And right now it's a common archer that has resurrection. So let me zoom out of here. And again, we're talking strategies and stuff like that. So If you're in the chat, love to know what kind of strategies you have going on, and how you are playing the game. If you've never played this game before, it's a turn-based game. So hope maybe sometime tonight I get a chance to show, maybe like a hunt or something like that, or Mega might even want to jump into something. But at the end of the day, like, you want different features of the game to be fun. So I've really been enjoying summoning, and I think those who have been summoning and summoning traits are about to benefit greatly, especially even from this divine essence that got dropped and the liquidity behind it. So these are my 2 resurrection heroes here.
Ooh.
And I think this is 2, active 2 resurrections. So I
Okay.
don't really know how I feel about this berserker. But I said I'm gonna keep mostly all the resurrection things that I find. And to me, it doesn't matter the hero anymore. I just care about traits. Like, I'll go for a certain type of hero, but if I have to mesh archer with a scholar or archer with a knight to still go for resurrection, I'll do it.
Mhm.
Right. And so these are all just stone, always lesser chaos stone, because I want that advantage. Speed and poison blade are always a good match. And then I'm gonna, take my time and slowly OP the shit out of these. But you need to have good vigor, because when you resurrect, you get what, 30%, 35% of your HP, I believe. So that's one batch of resurrections there, and then I have. Oh, let me crack this resurrection right here. Oops. Oh, was I not showing my hero? That's crazy. So these are the 2 that I'm talking about. Let me go back and check here. These are the 2 that I'm talking about. I don't know if I wasn't showing it before, Mega.
Oh yeah, this is nice. Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you're
these are the
almost
2
guaranteeing the res if possible.
Yeah, if you have enough of a stun and a second wind
You're trying to
to
guarantee it, yeah.
right, or trying to
No
get
guarantees in this
no
RPG
guarantees.
game.
And then I have this one, which I got from that double stun pair, the Archer Thief. It has resurrection in
Ooh,
days.
that's nice.
So if I can find a possible, if I can create a mythic archer with just like stun, or a mythic archer with just what matches days? We have hardened shield or days. Let me see. Yeah, days. Yeah, exhaust. So if I can find a resurrection on top, that's 3 summons, a resurrection on the bottom, that's 3 summons, even if it's a common,
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
smash those and see what I can get. So that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, you got some
This
ammo. Here's
this
the result was a thief.
it was a thief.
Thief,
Okay.
thief. You're getting pure boys out here.
Yeah, thief. It was a freaking uncommon, and the
Oh.
Ruggington. We hit that
Ah.
with the Vigor Stone, so
Okay.
it's not all that. He might be getting demolished,
He
and
might be
then
getting burnt.
we'll wrap it up with another Dark Summon, and this one, the same double stun archer that we were just looking at.
Mm-hmm.
He had 1 summon left, along with a priest that has 1 summon left. I think that's the one I have here. So I'll share this really quickly. So it's a priest and an archer. I don't care whichever one comes out with resurrection. And we have this is that double stun second wind combination there. So I'm gonna finalize this dark summon here. That'll be the end of utilizing this in-game feature that allows you to also burn your heroes aside from the divine essence, where you can try to build solid heroes. But I'm going for that resurrection army. If I can have 1 or 2 resurrection in every basic class,
Oh yeah.
I'll be pretty happy about that.
I would play.
Ooh, okay. So we
Archer.
got an
Come
archer.
on.
Oh, it's a common. Okay. So remember, this had the double stun,
Yep.
second wind.
Oh, let's see it.
Oh,
Oh, we got a
got
stun
this.
back at
We
least.
got a stun
Okay.
back. We got a stun back. So you got to shoot your shot, right?
Yep.
Got to shoot your shot with these things, but
Numbers game.
it's very cheap and efficient to summon. If you know what your long-term kind of agenda is, this game feature is so exciting between Divine Essence, the Dark Summoner, and the Portal. Because then you can kind of go for what you want, you know. So Megan, did you have anything kind of kicked up on your end that you wanted to show us as well? I know you were preparing
Yeah, I
one.
just popped up the screen there if you want to pull me up.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll
Let
go
me
through
go
these
ahead and
quickly. One of them is just both portal summons. One of them being a level 20 and a level 15. So
okay.
got some tier bonuses on this one. So that'll be nice. And then the other one is a Dread Knight Dragoon pair. Just going for a Dread Knight, hopefully. But if we miss and hit a Dread or a Dragoon, that's all right. We get some more essence in there. Both of
Right.
these are portal summons again, so we'll be eligible for that greater stuff. So that's good. Let's
Yeah,
see
it's
what we
almost like
got.
you're not even expecting the greater stuff. If it happens to drop, it happens to drop.
Right. All right, let's see. This was the
Ooh,
knight. This was
night.
a knight and archer, level 20 archer, level 15 knight. So we got a
Oof.
bunch of tier boost bonuses on this. I went fortitude. I went endurance stone. If it
Okay.
was an archer, I was like, all right, at least it will tank up some hits a little better. Now it's
Okay.
a knight, so that's a pretty perfect stone. It's
Yeah.
not greater, just a regular, but got a
Okay.
common
Got a comment.
and no traits.
No
So
traits. Okay. No, that's
7
pretty
tier
sweet.
bonus.
That's
Go
pretty
ahead.
sweet. I've been going for nights too and trying to get a second wind on nights because not only will I be able to boost my team up if I have high HP, my knight is going to be a good, buffer. And then on top of that, if I happen to get a second win, I can continue going for that resurrection pair. But I like you kind of burning knights right now, going for a good knight pair because I think they're slept on. I think they're
Yeah.
slept on.
For sure. I mean, who knows? I could use this at 6s maybe since it's a common and maybe
Right.
stat limited tournaments. Doesn't have the best of traits, but or we burn it and we get instant liquidity, which we've been talking about. So this is the good one. This one should be going for a Dread Knight. That who knows? That Knight one could have been the Dread Knight summon. I hope not.
Right.
But we'll see. Hopefully we see some Dread Knight or Dragoon pop out of this one. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh, we got the Dreddy.
we got some big
We
sword
got the
energy
Dreddy. Yo, I'm
up
telling
in
you, man, you
here.
gotta have one or two dreads in the wallet. You heard?
Let's go. Let's go. So let's see if we get some
Let's
color
see.
on this bad boy. Oh,
Ooh, wait, this was two comments?
this was 2 rares. Portal
Oh,
summon though, so I mean that's like a low percent chance, baby.
let's go.
We'll take that to the bank all
Let's
day.
go. That's beautiful. I don't even
See-
have a legend yet. I have three uncommons.
Damn, Agi purple, which is dope.
Let's go.
I was going to put the endurance stone on naturally, as it always occurs. You
Yeah.
don't do that. So I just used the lesser chaos regardless. Ooh, no traits,
Ooh, no traits.
but that's all right.
That's beautiful.
Damn, even had Spellbow sitting on the Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. And the reason we're doing that trade, I'm gonna show you on a separate tab. Keep
Okay,
that
got
bad
you.
boy up.
Got you.
We're just gonna burn the other guys that we just summoned with. The Dread Knight, I'm gonna show you and the audience here roughly how much one Dread Knight will get you. It's pretty solid. And let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine
So the
Altar.
Dread Knight you burned actually came back into action kind of for you.
Yes, so I can
Yeah.
burn this at a 5x, both of which I can burn at a 5x. I'm gonna burn the level 10 though, because he's out of summons. And like I said earlier, I don't have a use for these guys anymore. I feel like I mean, I'm even tempted to burn the legendary. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Wow.
Because, like, I mean, what is he doing here? He's gonna sit here. I could get a 5x on him at 60,000 hero score. Let's just see how much this guy. He's gonna bring back potentially up to 48 divine essence. I'm gonna get a guaranteed. That's greater divine essence. I'm gonna get a guaranteed 17 divine essence. So it's just
Well,
like,
you went for this. You went for the initial summon with the a dread you already had, right?
right,
Okay,
exactly.
so it's combing and cleaning the wallet. Okay, I love it.
Exactly. So
I
I'm
love
just
it.
gonna select the other one, deselect this one, and just see the difference. This is
Okay.
a guarantee of 23 greater divine, up to 63 greater divine.
Ooh,
So
you making me want to burn a dread, man.
right, I mean, shoot, bro. So like this is some elite stuff here, and I love that hit on it. So we could kind of see the capabilities of
Yeah,
like
let's
we've
see
been
what you
calling
get
it,
out of this.
that instant liquidity. I'm gonna do one for now. I'm gonna decide on the legendary at a later date, maybe next episode.
Oh, you were gassing it. You was gassing it.
Hey, I also want, and you can include the pet here. We'll get a bonus for that as well, which
Yeah.
is great. I also want to talk on. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go to the Divine Altar. What was I going to say? You're speaking of these rerolls while this is loading, while this is transaction going through. You have a wonderful Giant Slayer mythic level 20 archer that I think on a show in the future, me and you should reroll. We should have fun and take a look at rerolling it together. Because it's 700 HP. We can max reroll that thing, every stun to the wazoo and get that thing 300 stats and probably 1400 HP too if we want. So I think that should be on our agenda.
I love that idea because
not tonight, but in the future.
No. I'm saying I love that idea because yes, that was a gem of a hero, but for some reason it just didn't really level well.
Yeah, it's tough. RNG's tough.
RNG's tough, but we know how to boost that bad boy up.
So yeah, with Rabby, I actually saw a preview of exactly how much I'll get. So I didn't get the full 40 whatever max. We'll burn that bad boy. We end up with about 32 greater and 454 divine essence in one roll. 4-star from the pet and 2 lesser might crystals as well. So that's from a 5x multiplier, of course, because it was a Dread Knight, because it was level 10, whatever else goes into that. So hey, that's a win for me. I'll take that. Let's just quickly see as well while we're on this topic. How much could I sell?
Yeah, for
32 for today.
For sure.
Probably a few bucks maybe. So.
And Divine Essence has been maintaining its value, quite honestly, the launch value. So we'll see, what the effect of some selling has.
$8. $8 for that Dread. Instant liquidity. Obviously, if you were to sell it on the market, you would get much more. Eventually, if it sells, but guess what? Not a lot of people are buying them. So if you want to offload all your heroes, like some people tried to scam the community by doing with the blow token, instead you could just do this today. You don't have to go make a token and dump on everybody. So you could just dump it to GDE. So that's fun.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad idea at all, because it makes me want to look at and I'll switch back to my screen here. It makes me kind of want to look at what I have going on, the dreads that I have. Like, they don't have any summons, but some of them do have a couple advanced traits, and then I have one that's very basic. I do think that, and maybe you want to see in the future how true or false this may be, but when you literally combine your roles in terms of the stuff that you can get. So it kind of instantaneously makes me want to look at the maybe possibly burning my dread, having some liquidity, and then looking at the tavern for very common or uncommon dreads that are not too highly priced, right? Because look, at the end of the day, we are going to need dreads. So if I can just stack some higher rarity, like a legendary or even a mythic, even if it has basic, I probably would never sell that as a part of my deck. You know what I'm saying? But you have these dreads here. If I can find enough liquidity, right? This is $15. So if you got your dread for $8, if I can sell a dread plus a few other heroes to get a chance to mash some dreads that have summons on them together, that could possibly advance, I don't see why not. That's a pretty cool strategy. I can get a day's dread for 2,600 to possibly go for what is it? It's days and exhaust gets you stun, right? Am I bugging? Yeah, days and exhaust gets you stun, right? Right. So dude, if I can find a way to have a cheap way to try to just, create some liquidity while I'm doing that, try to smash me a stun dread, a legendary one, depending on, what my other goals are, by repurposing my dread, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. But I've been loving those 10 for 10 summons to have a chance to really get to the kind of traits that you're trying to get to. But those one-offs are great if you're able to, sell enough heroes, clean your deck out, and do some pretty dope things with a percentage of that, and then use your other liquidity for some long-term stuff. But I like what you did there.
I'm muted. That worked out very well for sure.
Yeah. So those are just some of the main stuff currently in the ecosystem. I will on a later time try out the Dread Burn, since Mega has inspired me. And when you're gamers, on a Friday night, you just chill, you play your game, you share strategies, you kind of go from there. Do you know who won the tournament that was going on earlier today?
I do believe Fex took one of them. He had
Okay.
a dominant re-rolled squad, dude, at 20s.
Ah.
Let me check. I think the other one might have just ended. There's an open practice I was playing in the background, playing
Okay.
against Pope, actually.
I
But let me
see.
check out the big money tournaments of today. Completed. Fex took one home, and
Mm.
Fex took both of them home. Yeah, his re-rolled squad is
Wow.
fucking
That's
disgusting, bro.
real. Can I
I mean, we're
see them?
yeah. I mean, do you have my screen back up
Yeah,
still?
yeah, yeah, I do.
Perfect. Look at this archer. Not that one.
Level 20.
1600 HP archer ninja, bro. What?
Sheesh.
Leadership. So just more damage on top of his HP. And it's just
Sheesh.
dominant, honestly. And then he went priest, archer. Took out Jeweler Dream in the finals earlier
Oh,
today. So
wow.
much love to Jeweler Dream, Crypto Dream. And yeah, Fex just he's got a wallet of monsters, and he re-rolled some of the best into more of the
Nice.
best heroes. So
Nice.
shout out
Nice.
to that dude. Keep it
Beautiful
up.
flow of liquidity with the game mechanism that was put in place that's just creating more monsters. So yes, a reroll can create these monsters, but guess what? A dark summon of level 20, level 30, level 50, level 100 heroes can get you there as well. So great to see the strategies that are played in this game and the winners that are coming in and out of this. I'm totally playing it different, but big shout out to Fex coming in. And it hasn't been the same winners or that have been dominating over time, right? Is that
Yeah, no, we've seen a few of the best players have taken kind of like it seems like a vacation from tournaments. Partially, they're not in everyone, is what I'm saying.
right?
But you definitely have a better diversity of winners. At least the past month, I felt like, so that's been fun.
Okay.
It's kind of what you want. But I like what the team's doing with some of these tournaments as well. Like tonight. Tonight's just a free to play, just to see who wants to just jump in and play some PvP. That's one of my biggest complaints is I can't just queue up a match. Free to play and just I mean, yeah, you can communicate with someone in the Discord, but I just want to jump on the game sometimes and queue up. I don't want to have
Yeah.
to go message somebody, see if anyone answers, and then set up a match after. I just want to hit
Right.
a button, wait for the game to queue up, and we're good to go. So this
Nice.
one, for example, I thought this was cool. 9 people played on a, it's a Friday night, and we had a whale. One of the DFK whales, Velvet, came back. Actually, he just jumped in to kind of
Get a
do it, but
feel.
he didn't. He actually AFK'd the game. Regardless, he was kind of back in the server after it because he's like, yeah, I mean, PvP is interesting. I want to kind of learn. So that dude's gonna be playing some PvP, hopefully.
Nice.
And yeah, little events like this where free to play open practice tournaments can bring back some players who want to test the game but don't want to waste $5 if they know they're just going to lose with their team, but they're
Right.
still interested in PvP.
Right. Yeah. And even if you're somebody who just had some heroes but you don't have a lot of liquidity, you can just throw it in there and get that feel, within those free plays. So, when we talk about like playing my favorite blockchain game, recent updates, where I see things going, I think the people who look for who are technology people in crypto, me personally, I love what I'm seeing in DeFi Kingdoms. I love the longevity. I love the implementation of different mechanisms. I love the fact that it's gaming, NFT, decentralized finance, and crypto. So when you look at the game report portion of things, they're being fed, investors are being fed, and this ecosystem is gonna continue to build. And I actually enjoy doing I like coming in and like working. Like I feel like I'm working within my game. I can't do it every day. I don't have time for it all the time in life, but when I can squeeze my little time away, I have like 7 different things I'm doing. I'm occupying my mind. It's fun to me to find my legion and kind of claim my legacy. But realistically as well, we have to talk about, token prices and, where this ecosystem is and the things that, individuals are doing, right? So do I think this is the time to make a shit crap of money in DeFi Kingdoms? I don't think so. Right? I think the tokens that are represented in DeFi Kingdoms can catch bids when the entire market catch bids, when AVAX is already moving on its own strength. The weak assets in DeFi Kingdoms, which is 99.9% of the assets, can only run when other powerful movers run. And even with the lack of strength, I still think there's about a 10 to 16x still available in Jewel that goes with DeFi Kingdoms. But I wanted to kind of switch things up here and continue to ask ourselves that question. If I'm playing the blockchain game that I'm playing, and by the way, we have like 30, 35 minutes, 36 minutes left. With just a massive update from my end, because my streams used to be 2 hours, and then I
Hey,
go a
Trey,
little longer. Yeah.
I am gonna bow out in like 10 minutes, just so you know. I'm gonna pop back in the audience and listen to your market analysis after, but
Yeah, not a problem, bro.
I won't be able to stay the whole one. But just
Yeah,
wanted
for
to
sure.
tell you.
For sure. I got you. Yeah, it was dope for you to come in and share just some of your thoughts on the gaming end.
Always, bro.
And then, even for you who are a heavy gamer, you're starting to level out and bring balance to, some of the things that you've been doing in the ecosystem. So we're all re-rolling, we're all shuffling. I love being able to shuffle my deck and have that instant, liquidity towards it. So as I'm playing the game, where I'm having the gaming aspect of it, I'm also looking at the finances portion of it, which goes into the two things that we're focusing on: gameplay and token price. And so if Jewel that is in this specific ecosystem, or if the gaming sector in general, or if the meme coin section in general only moves when other strong movers or other things in their blockchain move, the primary tokens in their blockchain move, then those other tokens only move when Bitcoin moves. So that is why we track Bitcoin very closely. And I think in the stream that we did, maybe the last jeweler stream I did with you was maybe a month
Like a
and a
month or
half
so ago.
ago,
Yeah.
and that's where right now, if we're in June, that was around like late April or May, early May, something in that area, where we were kind of in this particular area. And at that time, we were tracking a bull flag within this consolidated range of the all-time highs and a retesting of the previous all-time highs. So from that bull flag, we had a massive 50% run in Bitcoin's price, as we kind of boldly stated the bottom was in. You gotta put your chest out there and say the bottom is in. But it looks like the bottom was in. And so far we've been tracking a new pattern that which is an inverse head and shoulders that leads Bitcoin to around $150,000-$160,000. But we've been anticipating a trip back to $92,000. And in our most recent Jewelers Discord update, we could see Bitcoin. We had this little turn down here, and we had all the bears saying it's ready to go to a bear market. But we do think that it bounces slightly, and it could do that as we go into the next week and the CPI numbers, the inflation numbers for the country. And then the week after that, we have Jerome Powell. So we're expecting a bit of a pushback, but ultimately we're expecting this downtrend. And so I just been warning the Discord, as we saw this drop, expecting this bounce back up, that even if you see it bounce back up and you think you've regained some confidence, it's just there needs to be some leeway and some relief before we really take off, at least in our opinion, based upon some of the metrics that we're looking at here. And then overall, when you look at the weekly chart, we're expecting this massive move to happen, which leads us into the end of the year, possibly start of the following year. So we probably have to wrap up the year, or from the very lows where we called the bottom, we may have another 74-75% move from Bitcoin if it goes as high as 175,000. I think it ranges between 150 and 170. So even at 150, that's about another 50% move. On top of the 50, it's already made, from the lows. And so I think in this action, and the reason why I follow Bitcoin is because it just gives you the answers to the other ecosystem that you live in. When Bitcoin does this, when it finishes this whole thing here, and again, when it does this, shoot, we may see Jewel. I think we saw Jewel visit 2 cents, 2 point something cents. There was an arbitrage available somewhere. We may see Jewel go back and test that area because it just doesn't have the strength. But in this action of Bitcoin, when it gets to its highest of highs and it's just consolidating before what we think is going to be the start of the bear market, before that happens, what normally you see in cycles, and this is what comes when you're a macro investor, you see that liquidity from Bitcoin flow to the other altcoins, the very strong ones that have already been moving, they'll do extremely well. And then once it leaves those strong ones, like your Solana and your layer ones like AVAX, like your SUI, like your even Hyperliquid, those other things below that blockchain will then have their big runs and your meme coins. In this action here, in this topical area here, where it starts to consolidate before the big drop, as we expect the liquidity in the markets. Let me erase that. As we expect liquidity in the markets to return for altcoins, because this scare, whatever this scary area is, should cause the Federal Reserve to show signs or actually just start cutting rates. And when you get that first sign of quantitative easing, with Bitcoin running to its all-time highs and everybody saying it's going to go to 300,000 and whatever, when it starts to stall out and we see the flow of liquidity, there's going to be an altcoin window, a sweet window that's going to be short-lived and very aggressive. We have not changed our outlook on what this looks like, right? So if this inverse head and shoulders plays out and we get this move from Bitcoin, expect as Bitcoin runs, the strong ones will run. But when Bitcoin stalls out and you see the altcoins go ballistic, there will be that moment where you can throw anything at a wall and it could run up. That's called all season. And there will be a window, whether you're holding Jewel, whether you're holding Divine Essence, whatever the actual value, whether you're holding Honk, and Honk may be sitting, if I'm expecting Jewel to get to 70 cents to $1.29 at the worst case scenario, we may see Honk at $4.20 to $5. So that's the premonition on Bitcoin. We really don't even need to look at Jewel. We'll look at AVAX real quick. And again, AVAX is consolidating. Similar to Bitcoin, we have this range area. It's been fighting this bull market support band. We've been following this for a very long time, but we have AVAX going to $224 still. And if you look at something like Jewel, it's just been going down tremendously over time. So there's other stuff in the ecosystem. Honestly, if you've been a holder of Honk, you've been doing better than, let's say, like a Jewel holder. But Jewel's been going down. There's really no need to look at the charts. When I previously showed the chart of Jewel, and I don't have my other email up here, we've just been going down. So there's no need to look at Jewel. It's going to keep trending down until the deflationary aspect and the transactions that are happening, and we have more liquidity in the game. And Jewel already went through its parabolic phase. And I'm going to wrap this kind of analysis up here. At Mega, you can just give me some last thoughts here before you exit. When Jewel wraps up this parabolic phase, it will find a level ground somewhere, and there'll be a base created that never goes below that. But we're not in that phase right now, right? So, do you plan to possibly take advantage of, let's say, hey, the end of the bull market, all coins run? Or are you still saying, let me just continue to pull liquidity from this ecosystem? Because if a bear market is coming, we could be looking at, back to a 0.09 cent Jewel before we go into that next phase. And so how are you looking at just your tokens? We know you're Mr. Bitcoin. We know you got how are you looking at the ecosystem of Jewel and the gaming sector that you look at right now?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm still heavily into some of these gaming projects like Spellborn, like DFK. I mean, Maybe not as daily into Spellborn, but yeah, for me, dude, I'm still stacking the alts. I got a nice bag of AVAX, a nice bag of some other ones I've kind of learned about and dove into, Sui, Hype. Some other ones looking for, like 2 to 5x if possible. AVAX, hopefully 2 to 10x potentially. Kind of avoiding the Solana casino overall. I don't hold any.
Okay.
I guess I have some over there, but I'm not holding it because I don't like what they're doing. I like the chain. The chain's great. The products are overall great, but I don't like, or I should say the products are great, but I don't like the premise around a lot of products. I don't like just the casino gambling. And if they're just going to be the casino chain, then that's fine. But for me, safe stacks into Bitcoin, stacking sats, grabbing AVAX, grabbing SUI, some XRP, some other ones where I could just make a return. But a majority of mine are into Bitcoin, stacking the sats and just thinking longer than my typical, what can I do to get 100x this year? I'm thinking longer, thinking into the 10-year, 20-year, let's retire off this shit, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely love that. I love that because I preach macro all day, every day, right? So you're in a good place. I do still think there's a way, there's still space for the meme coins. They're always an indicator in the bigger wave that happens. You know me, I love Fart Boy, I love Fart Girl. I think that if you're using 1% of your portfolio, 1 to 5% of your portfolio meme coins, it still works out. And not financial advice. I'm telling people in my Discord, I still love Fart Boy and Fart Girl for 10 to 20x, at the minimum. But when I mentioned, making sure you're in different sectors, you have Bitcoin, you have some of those others. But when we talk about those stable coin providers, as the U.S. legislation gets ready to push stable coins, CRV, Curve Finance, is also something that I'm very bullish on. And different from Hyperliquid, it has yet to make its major move. A lot of times you're like, I want the confirmation of a major move and a great looking chart. And that sometimes that's not where the return is. The return is in that chart that looks strong, but has yet to make the major move. So for me, CRV, Curve Finance is one of them. At the safe bet, taking it at an all-time high from where it is right now is like still a 10x.
Hey, while you're here, pull up CRCL, I believe it is. It's a stock. No, let me find it. What is it?
I think recently, I think I know what you're talking about.
They're a stable coin provider, CRCL, but it's not showing.
Circle. They just launched. They just launched.
And the token, it's a stock, so I shouldn't say the token.
It went ballistic. Yeah, it went ballistic. And this is why I'm saying, like,
this is retail's opportunity to get in on a stable coin.
And this is what I'm saying, like, come on, man. Like, the same thing happened when Coinbase IPO'd, and like this was like an indicator of the end. But what that means is wherever liquidity then flows to, it's gonna do it, and it's gonna do it in a very aggressive way. And it's only been a couple of days. Like, I look at this and I'm like, okay, the end is near, but look how quickly liquidity runs into something that's crypto centric when the market wants to participate. So now when the market gets in and then they're able to participate on the stock portion of things, and they're like, oh, there's more. Where is it? Especially as the Circle stock starts to drop, that's when you look at what's happening in altcoins, right? Because that liquidity is going to flow where they believe the higher prices are. And to me, it's in those that have strength that have yet to move. So I'm glad you pointed it out, because that also plays to exactly what I'm talking about. Whereas if you are an ecosystem that you delve and you are expert in stable coins, and we're seeing what's happened to Circle, that lets you know that stable coin centric ecosystems are set up to flourish. And when you want to be a part of a trend, you have to tap into the sector that's tapped into that trend, because liquidity is going to go there. So I'm glad you pointed it out, because that just left a nice caveat to some of these tokens that we've looked over. that we haven't looked over before that we're looking over today. And me, CRV is one of the major ones.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to dive into CRV. Overall, though, Trade, I want to kind of close before I hop into the audience and listen in to the rest of your
for sure.
talks on the market. Overall bullish. I'm a perma bull, bro. I can't avoid it. I'll be buying if Bitcoin runs down to 70K. I'll be buying it if it runs to 150K. And that's just I don't see a reason to ever sell it. I think we've kind of you've orange pilled me over to that side, and I'm glad you have, and I'm glad I've listened because I'm fruitful on where the future of Bitcoin goes, bro. Because I'm bearish on government fiscal spending. I'm bearish on their irresponsibility. I'm bearish on the state of the world overall and the constant war. And bro, the hedge of that is stack the orange coin, stack the sats, baby. And thank God for you, Trade, because you have orange pilled me. And final words is just to thank you, honestly, for firstly having me on the show, but also pushing the narrative and always talking, macro, because it truly opened my eyes. And I just want to thank you, Trey.
Yeah, for sure, bro. We're here. We're say we gonna make it, right? So we gotta be able to find the proper processes and then sharing information with each other, which is what we're doing. There could have been nobody else here, but to just be here and be able to walk through some of these things with you and the concepts with you has been very fun for tonight. And we wrap it off. Is DFK dead? No, I don't believe so. I think DFK is in the Grand Theft Auto phase where, if it takes 5 to 7 years to get full development, I am perfectly okay with that because I believe the end product ends up being something amazing.
My actual final words will be DFK is definitely not dead.
Definitely not dead.
We are alive. So, Trade, much love to you, my brother.
No doubt, man.
Hop back into the audience, and
I'll see you on the other side.
We'll see you next week or the next time we have each other on each other's show. So,
for sure, enjoy your weekend,
my brother.
Peace. Yeah, guys. So look, man. It's a macro thing, okay? You cannot get me away from DeFi Kingdoms, even if you tried. The different game features that have been launched have just been awesome. There's instant liquidity out there. We're getting chest in the boar hunts. And we're able to play in tournaments and adapt our heroes if you want to. One of the last things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap up tonight by trying to land a chest by doing hunts. I have 2 hunts prepared, and I'm going to do those 2 hunts, and those 2 hunts are going to wrap it up. I dark summoned, I porter summoned, I got some divine essence. When my friends ask me sometimes, hey, what are you doing? I said, I play one of my favorite games. It's still in development, but I love being like a case study within the developmental ecosystem, and I have a lot of patience with the things that I'm interested in. So I'm not the type to get upset, because there's a feature that's been put out that's at a disadvantage to me. At the end of the day, or me and my strategy, at the end of the day, I kind of just know the ultimate goal of the creators of this game is to set up a balanced economy, a fun game that allows value to flow to the most organic places and to the lore of what that game is. And so these adjustments, these tweaks will happen, but I'm here to be a test dummy. I'm here to play in it. If I analyze certain things good enough within certain cycles, I have an opportunity to make a lot of money. I also get a deck of cards that I get to shuffle and reshuffle for my collectible set. And I'm going to do that. And now with the lore of what the game is, I now know how I want to play the lore of the game, which is a beautiful, thing to have. To feel like you now know how to play the lore of the game is a wonderful feeling, right? So, command your legion, claim your legacy. The legion I'm commanding, I want to be able to have it do multiple things within the game. Let me go over here and share I want to be able to do multiple things within the game, and the legacy I want to create is to have that player that was an investor that then became a player over time that was able to find his legion, claim his legacy, and I'm building a legion of elite exalted traits to go help my guild to then be able to put a stamp on the future of this game and this ecosystem. So I am building a resurrection legion, a high exalted trait or elite trait legion, and my legacy will be the zombie apocalypse. Because if my squad is coming with my guild, I'm in the back. Resurrect, 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 resurrect. You know what I'm saying? Divine essence. Keep our equipment going. Okay. We got our foothold here on this land here. And if we are able to fight and defend and beat this land, this other landholder will give us pieces of his land. And I can go from being a peasant to a knight, to whatever it is I gotta do in this game. But my legion will be able to resurrect. And don't even let Defikingdoms be able to have your traits to be able to be implemented in maybe your companion. However, that interoperability happens, which in crypto is a thing that is going to be solved at some point. Interoperability, which in short is the ability for other ecosystems to communicate, other blockchains to communicate with other blockchains, other APIs to communicate with other APIs, other technology features to be able to function the way it needs to function for it to be a seamless experience for me to go experience somebody else in the multiverse, as well as my own multiverse, as well as be able to work with other players within this multiverse. So that's the legacy I'm trying to claim. Every guild has theirs and every player has theirs. So we're gonna go ahead and pop off some. One is gonna be a boar hunt, and this boar hunt has, I believe, one of my wizards in it. Did I put the wizard in it? I don't know if I did. Maybe I wanted to guarantee that I was gonna win. Or maybe I had to wait to get a player in. But I have a Bach fight, which is gonna be with what I would take into a tournament, like maybe right now. Is one of those examples. And then let me see for the boar hunt what I decided to use, because I wanted to show off the my wizard that I have and how I'm using my wizard since it's like a new release, but I don't think it's ready. And just bear with me because this is what we're closing out the night with. I'll do my wizard. Let's see if he's okay. So he just doesn't have enough stamina. Well, thank goodness that I got some of these from DFK Duels in its final essence before it went RIP. Let's check into the chat real quick. We got 91 Karmas. Yo, thanks for popping through, dude. I've still been seeing you around in the ecosystem. And then we have Tomb Fed. Yeah, we're gonna go to see what we get in this chest drop. We're gonna go for it. I love the 100 days of Honknest that's coming. Beautiful, providing more value. Love the liquidity that you guys are providing. But yeah, man, I didn't know some of this lore, that came, with this game. And it's funny because oh, it didn't come through. He had a what is it, a emoji? But yeah, we're gonna go for this chest. I wanted to use my wizard in this boar hunt, but I think because I already used him, I cannot use him. So let's see. Let's just go for it. All right. Let's see if I can do well with the team that I would go into. I would go into like a tournament right now with. I plan through my resurrection team to start going into tournaments, at like level 16. So they have a long ways to go. But like this is one of the teams that I would go into a 16 to 20 with. And it's a seer that I've been building up as a support system to some of my higher heroes. So not my best seer, but like I think I can get a win with this crew, going here. So I normally start out using a seer, archer, warrior combo. Sometimes it's definitely a priest, archer, warrior combo for a win. Gotta throw a rejuvenation stone out there early. I'm just trying to get wins. What are my most efficient teams that I can get wins from? From my archer, try to use the poison blade or a multi-shot. There's always a decision between that. But because I want to wear down Mama Bach, we go straight to trying to get him if poison, but that doesn't work out. By the way, also I have seen some new potions. There is so much going on in this darn ecosystem. I've seen some new potions over at the Alchemist. And those potions sound sick. I bought some, but I did not include those in this gameplay. So you know what? I think for the next the second hunt, which will be a boar hunt, I can get creative with the potions because you don't want to try new things at the Bach hunt. You'll get obliterated. But there's some new potions here. We got the attack potion, gain 20% physical damage for 50 ticks, which this sounds pretty cool. We have the coagulate potion, cure bleed, and 100% immunity for 50 ticks. Performing this action costs 500 less initiative. And that one sounds all right. I mean, I think I can handle bleed pretty well with some of my heroes. Then we have the Purify Potion. Purify target. Target gains unstoppable for 10 ticks. Performing this attack costs 200 less initiative. And then we have Spell Potion. Gain 20% magical damage for 50 ticks. I wonder how that will look on my wizard or on my seer. So a bunch of like new potions out. They're cool to see. Precision Potion, gain 15% physical and magical accuracy for 50 ticks. Performing this action costs 200 less initiative. So, back to the regularly scheduled programming, but just a lot of new things being launched. I'm kind of a fan of it. But I do want to get my wins here and try to get a chest. I got a one chest and I had like some, what did I have? I like some freaking lesser chaos crystals and stuff like that. That blind is so annoying. But what I like to do with that is I'll still like to get a shot off because I want to get my combo going. And if my tanker hasn't lost too much HP, I'll just kind of go for it, setting up the rapid shot and use my seer to unblind my guy here. I could even use my warrior to unblind my guy, and then still get him healed. And I think no, screw that. We're gonna use whirlwind right now. Forget the combo because I think my archer is powerful enough where we can kind of still blast, this Mama Bach when needed. And I still think my warrior has enough HP, and if Mama Bach wants to turn it up, we can always stun him. So that was a perfect play, and I got a miss on the warrior from the baby box. So now we're gonna hit that combo that we set up. Splash! Right? What a beautiful move there. All right, didn't take any damage from Mama Bach. We got her to pick a egg up. I mean, it's a beautiful setup with the seer. Again, I'm gonna set up the rejuvenation stone on this year, and this is just like I love my guaranteed hunt teams because it's just like you can kind of breeze through, do what you got to do, and set it off, right? So in this moment, I want to try to set up another combo, but in the meantime, we're gonna wear this baby Bach down because some of the combos from that baby Bach be annoying, right? Archer's doing good damage, and then boom, Mama Bach wants to get all crazy by charging up, her move, her whirlwind move right there. But little does she know, splash. We have our stun warrior ready to set it off and stop it in its tracks while taking away the other Bach. Now he gets a turn skipped. In the meantime, while he gets that turn skipped, I'm just going to speed up my seer because we got to get a little speed boost going on right here. Yeah, I saw that. Does the priest now put up an automatic bubble? Damn, you turn that whirlwind on mad fast. What the hell? What the heliante? What the heli Baron? He turned his thing on mad fast. Okay. I see you, kid. I know there's been some other changes as well, but uh guaranteed win going forward, trying to get a chest. Love the new features. What do we do here? Yeah, let's kind of boost everybody up. I think the Seer can handle this whirlwind that's coming. And if I do whirlwind, he has the buffer before it, but he gets a speed boost. So with that speed boost, I'm able to outpace the whirlwind that Mama Baka is going to throw that might disrupt me. And now I can just go ahead and get real executive with my squad. I want to boost my warrior's power, or this might be his critical aim. I think that's what critical aim is. I get a higher boost in my crit chances. And then this is just a beautiful setup, right? I already have the blind block on my archer. Nobody gets blinded. Beautiful. I think endurance helps to avoid the blinds that come from this. Now the setup is ready from the archer. Bada boom, bada bang. All right. Now he's dazed, but now he's going to bring up 2 additional eggs. I could have waited to use that combo, but I don't care because everybody's still reasonably healthy. And even if he brings out 2 eggs, I can at least eliminate 1 egg while eliminating, there you go, while eliminating Mama Bach before she even thinks about doing anything, right? So that's the kind of setup that I have here. Splash, right? Before Shorty can do anything is game over, right? I'm not even going to use up any more mana. I'm just going to say, clip, you're done. All right. And then move on to taking care of, the baby Bach. But yeah, Tune, it's a bit of a clinic. It's a bit of a clinic out here. You know what I'm saying? A bit of a clinic out here. Like my heart used to beat like no other. My heart used to be like no other when I had to face these Bachs because I'm like, darn it, man. The RNG is just like RNG is so brutal, man. I think he should be strong enough to crack this out. Crack this egg. Yeah. Definitely strong enough to crack this egg and set up the combo. Scrap. Let's go. So yeah, the RNG could be a BI. So you gotta have like a strategy that's just built for tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, do I think I should be able to body bag him instead of throwing the sanctuary on to avoid I forget what it is, to avoid the other move from happening for me? I can just go for blood. And I'm gonna go for the blood right now. There's no need to play patty cake. Just go for the blood, put the combos on, get it finished. May even get him dazed and push him further back. Didn't get the daze, but unless I miss this right here, this guy's done. Oh, talk about the RNGs. Oh, another miss. So instead of using Sanctuary, right? Instead of using Sanctuary, I just went for it all. And let's see. What? I set up the combo for repeating shot. Okay, 550. I was like, whoa, what? Hold on here. So I have a chance to finish it. Splash with this archer. Ooh, almost got it. And this is why I say, like, this is a team that I would take into hunts. You feel me? This is a team that I will take into hunts, right? This has been a clinic, right? And this, I believe this year, even though it doesn't have amazing, traits or anything like that, it has an insight stone on it. It has pretty decent stats, right? So I'm gonna build this guy up to 20, decide what to do from there, and kind of work through that. This archer here is a PJ archer. I don't think I'll be in any position where I'll be selling this archer just for the nostalgia. It has toxic and poison blade and heal. It can do damage, man. So I want to keep that. I don't want to burn that. You know what I'm saying? With the charges mask and a long bow, like it can do damage, man. And then this is one of my favorite heals right here. My warrior, which is a legendary, warrior, which has stun, toxic, and critical aim. A pretty good HP as well. So, like, yeah, everybody's re-rolling and stuff like that. But I got some respectable teams, that I could put to work. when need be. But also too, they can farm. All right. More importantly, they can farm hunts for me while there's a boost that's been added to hunts. So, a little bit of addition to some of the changes that's been happening. That's been intriguing hunt players to continue to partake in the ecosystem. And yeah, uh, I run right through that, right? And then we're gonna do one boar hunt, and then that's gonna be the end of the night. All right. That is going to be the ends of the night, ladies and gentlemen. GG's tune, GG's. So yeah, is DFK dead? I don't think so. I'm having fun, right? My archer, my seer that I love, you know what I'm saying? My seer that I love to use just got me an easy win. Easy win is ready to be leveled up. You know what I'm saying? I'll make that decision after I'm done with the boar hunts, what I want to do with this bad boy. Pretty good agility and speed. So, like, I love speeding this guy up. He's solid, never being sold. So now let's go do a boar hunt. See if we can get a chest tonight. If not, it's all goody. And it looks like I have one loaded up. I don't know if I would be a fan of this one. Let's see if I have any other possible teams available that I would rather use for the boar hunts. That could be a little bit of a sexier cleanup. I thought I had. Damn, yo, that wizard isn't ready. I wanted to show off my wizard a little bit. But it's all good in the hood. I got this beast of an archer here too. Doesn't have really any advanced traits, but I'm never selling it because I hit it with an atonement crystal and it has a greater vigor crystal. So I think it's gonna be a badass, at level 35, 40. So I'm gonna keep that, and do damage with that. But let's see. Let's see the other boar hunt that I set up. Maybe I'll just hop right into it. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's that great. This is dangerous. This is dangerous for a boar hunt. Like, the easiest thing to do with the boar hunt is to go preacher, archer, warrior, or preacher, archer, knight even can function well. I went seer, like seer, archer, archer. And this is just me being out of my comfort zone, but feeling like I can manage the situation, right? Like, this may be the start of OKC versus Pacers down 15. Even if I'm down 15 halfway through the third quarter, I still got a chance depending on how I really set this up. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how I do. This is not really my norm, but I'm gonna go for this, see if we can end the night off with a bang, playing closer to the cuff than I would, because I can have a better setup, for Bora hunts, but I just want to test out being an experienced hunter while being able to use teams outside of my realm with a hunt that just isn't as difficult, of a hunt. So I'm going to use that rapid shot combo. Maybe hopefully get something good out of it. I got something great out of it. I was able to disrupt two here, and then I'm going to go for the same rapid shot with my other archer. I know Mega was big on these type of builds, especially through some of the initial hunt phases. My seer has heal, so splash, right? I'm able to maintain, my archer. Now, if bleed starts to play in, that can become an issue. That can become an issue at times. But I want to go ahead and make sure that this secondary board uses the heal that it has for this guy. I want to try to take two out at once. And that may be more possible because I disrupted the charge that was coming from Mama Boar, which is a really disruptive move. Now that it has healed that front board, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Death Mark at it because I have two. It did not land. Okay, nice. We got a nice switch there. So this may be a time where I use Sanctuary, but it can be disrupted. So for now, I'm gonna kind of hold off on it and use Clairvoyance. I'm really doing different things that I wouldn't do. But when you play long enough and you kind of understand what some of these things do, you can go for crazier moves. So I'm gonna try to manage this archer, my strongest archer's mana, by giving it clairvoyance to reduce. I'd also give it. Oh gosh, it just disrupted the guy I was trying to boost. Filthy move, filthy move. I like it. So we'll stay in here. We'll take some pain, and I will try Death Mark again. Because if the board starts to get its charge ready, and I haven't gotten close to eliminating this this board here, I'll be in trouble. I got this second one to land, and it's actually looking pretty critical for this board here. Now, what to do to make sure that I'm protecting my guys? This archer will survive a charge, even though it's bleeding at 36. So, do I want to do a sanctuary and put my guys at risk? I will try it. Put my guys at risk of being disrupted. And this is going to be a great close to the night if I can really finesse this combo here, because it's not really a combo I use. The Seer did not get disrupted. That is great for my team overall. I may need to heal this archer, but I will not. I will do that after I use my stronger archer. Nice. That's gotten this combo. I disrupted again. Now I might not want to disrupt for too long because I need the charge to come through to be able to really take care of this of this team here. But now I'm gonna rotate, right? Because this other archer cannot take this beating for too long. But this rotation and having a seer that isn't being disrupted with its healing mechanisms is just wonderful. And I have yet to have used a stone yet. I have yet to have used a stone yet. And because of Sanctuary, now my Seer is protected with a barrier. So now, even if they try to disrupt it, they have to try to get through my barrier. As you see, haven't been able to get through it, right? So you have to have a little bit of patience, with this. Now, I'm going to save mana and just use a basic attack here, especially because it has that death mark on it. Reserve some mana, wait for a next charge to do a combo. Because if you kill it before the charge, it's gonna be a problem. What I could do now also too here is just use a health veil because I know a charge could be coming up. So give my guys a little boostity there. Make sure it's ready to take some damage. Disruption. I don't. Ooh, okay, a disruption, and the charge has not come yet. But guess what? My Seer just backed them up right there and now set them up for some extra healing. There goes a disruption try, but at this point, I'm okay. I got my rocks off. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the thing off that I needed to get my thing off to get that next charge prepared, if you know what I mean. So he's still not charging. Maybe I disrupted him a little too much. So I now have to try to set up the death blow, right? I'm at 36 in bleed. I have a cleanse. I don't feel the need to use that yet. I'm still reserving mana. Let me throw a possible poison, on that board. Did not get it, but I did bring the board further down. At this stage, health of my tanker could be getting a little critical. In preparation for the charge, I'm just gonna get hardened shield on my seer. And back in the day, I loved when Sticks intern would talk through his battles, and I'm like, dude, how are you trying to figure this game out, and talking through your battles? Like that shit is painful. But when you get good enough, it's not too disruptive, even on a night like this where I'm using different heroes than I've used in the past. And my guys are doing pretty good. So what I'll do now is I think I can beat the charge with my seer with the speed boost that I will get. So I'm gonna throw another rejuvenation, at my at my my archer, hoping that it does not get disrupted. On top of that, I'm going to look to get rid of this front bore with one shot, right? If I can do that, I'll take whatever hit from the second bore and I'll get a boost. There we go. And I'll get a boost from my seer to bang, my archer. And now I'm ready to take on the charge. Okay. Oh, wow. He got a crit. He got a crit on my archer. That's crazy. That's crazy. I still think I have a really good chance to still end this. Um, but I may have to exhaust my archer right now because if I don't get this kill, I may be done for because I may not be able to win the war of attrition, right? But this archer is pretty badass, and I expect him to end things here. So now what I'm gonna do is with the seer as my backup, nice crit there. We're gonna go ahead and give my archer a nice health boost to be able to take some of this damage that's coming its way. Nice. A taunt there. I don't mind that taunt at all. I'm gonna go ahead and also prepare a rejuvenation stone. Because I will take on some damage. And then we're gonna get ready to end this. Okay. I'm exhausted right now. I don't have mana. So at some point, we're gonna want to give my guy some mana. But at this point, in order to close out this game, I want to be able to keep my guy alive. So little puny shots here. We do have to give this guy some mana. I don't want to deal with another charge that comes up. So should I use Sanctuary? Nah, we won't use Sanctuary yet. What I'll do is I'll move up. Because if I can have this here deliver some extra HP and also take a hit for my guy, that'll be good. All right. Now I'm up to 90 when it comes to the bleed, but I'll use cleanse if it just puts me in grave danger. But for now, I still have to do damage while I'm preparing to protect my guy here. So now we're gonna throw another rejuvenation stone on because it's kind of getting critical for my knight here. So we'll keep it boosted. I don't think it can take another hit here, being now at that 90. So what to do? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and leave cleansing the bleed. I'm gonna make some more damage. All right, get my heal up. Nice crit. Nice crit there. Love it. And then I'm just going to go for the kill now. So let's go ahead and get our War Stone going. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw the mana here just in case War Stone doesn't do what it needs to do. I can still get another chance at a kill shot. My boy is charging up, but little does he know I can not only handle the charge, but unfortunately for him, it might be game over. Oh, not necessarily. He has 4. So he does get his charge off. But it's not enough. Okay. My Seer Archer build that quite truly I did tonight for the first time. I usually stick with my build. I was trying to show off my warrior. I'm sorry, I was trying to show off my wizard, my 1 level 18 wizard that I use decently well with the fire. But this was cool. I think I may think about doing that type of build because I do have a lot of archers, especially stun archers. And just the last question I leave, maybe for Toon with the wizard build, if you're using it, which feature? I use the fire. Not a great fan of the other skills of the wizard. No chest. But that's okay. So, is DFK dead? I think not. Okay, Toonfed, shout out to you. Um, let's see, shout out to you there. GG's. Toon says he uses fire, but the arcane boost in tier 2. Ooh, okay, I may have to check that out. I only have one viable wizard that I use to kind of get used to using it only in boar hunts. I have not taken it to bog hunts yet, but so I'll take a look at that because I use fire as well. I think it's the best so far. And I have we'll end with this. My wizard that I have, or at least the one that I actively use, And let's pull it up here. Hey, where's my wizard? Oh, here it is. Yeah, my wizard that I actively use is a wizard archer, level 18, with double heal. So that's why I use it, because I can still get double heal off and not have to, have any protective, barriers or whatever set up as well. But yeah, I really wanted to show it off. And quite honestly, if I'm doing new things tonight, why not for the first time take my wizard out while facing the box? Why not? Why not do it? I haven't done it yet. I've been only doing boars, but why not take the wizard out and just end the stream off? Because I'm still gonna be playing all night. I'm still gonna be trying shit all night. So since I have a little bit of an audience here and I have what the DFK popping in here, why not just do another hunt, test out the wizard? Because I would eventually like to have some sort of advantage where I'm bringing the wizard towards the end of the tournament season to, like, do something for me, and I want to also try to get a resurrection wizard, because I'm going for a resurrection build with all of the heroes that the codex heroes that are currently in the game, and the wizard is the newest one. So I have a level 18 wizard getting towards 19. It will be able to partake pretty decent stats here, you know what I'm saying? Pretty decent also built here on dex, so I like its accuracy and heal clear vision. So it has to have a support system. The interesting thing I've been doing is combining it with the seer. Now for the box, I don't know if that's the best thing to do, right? But we're going to go ahead and test out the seer. It's not the normal combo that I would go with. So now I have to choose between an archer and a warrior. And I may want to go with one of my warriors that has some sort of disruption on it. So let's see about my mythic warrior, the one I think I just used in Bach hunts. Did I use this one in Boar or Bach? I think I just used this one in Boar. I'm not sure. But let's see if I can find any other like really good lower level warriors that I can use. This warrior, I haven't like added anything to it. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna go. Let's see here. I can also do priest, but like I want to live a little on the dangerous side. Let me live dangerously, So let's go warrior, because I'll still be able to do more range damage than with my archer. I'm not gonna have great healing other than the seer, and level 18 is tougher with the box, but man, I'm gonna go for it, right? And this is the grind. The grind is playing the game, figuring out what you want to do, and then figuring out what you want your training mechanisms to be. Now I feel confident enough about playing, and I'm gonna pick my slot that has more heals, just because I need as much healing as I can get. And you know what? I did say I was gonna try out some potions, so I'm gonna update this loadout, or should I create a new loadout? I'll change this loadout here, this bottom loadout, because I do like my OG loadout here. I'm gonna change this loadout here, all right, to these new potions that I picked up. So I thought I picked up some new potions here. That's crazy. The attack potion, physical damage for 50 ticks. I'll take one attack potion. I'm going to drop this potion. I thought I picked up more potions, man. Okay, so this potion cannot be used. Okay, which is the cure bleed and 100% immunity. Okay, so that potion cannot be used. And Toon says the wizard is pretty fun. So all right, cool. We're gonna try out the wizard. Okay, I guess some of these other potions aren't allowed. I do have toughness potion, but I only got that to get a different potion with it, which was the attack potion. So I'll have one attack potion in here. Will it let me? I thought I already had one, man. Why are you telling me to buy it? Whatever. Let me see which potion I actually want to use. So the attack potion does that. Because I have a wizard, I want to add to the spell. So let me just go ahead and swap some jewel for the cheaper on the trader, I believe. Let me get some of the attack potion because I might want to boost some of my magic users. I'm not a big fan of using speed because it just takes up so much. This one was the purify potion. Purify target gains unstoppable for 10 ticks. I don't know how much of a fan I am of that. Smoke bomb. How much is the smoke bomb? Can't even use it or buy it here. Oh, you can. Target apart. Each target gains 30% evasion and 10% minus 10% physical and accuracy. I don't know if I really want that. I think that's all I'll use for now. Gain 12. I think maybe I want to buy some of this from the trader. So like tonight has been very experimental because I want to show off some of these new features, even though I've not used it actively in the hunts, which I take pretty seriously. Pretty seriously. You know what I'm saying? Up until now. So I'm gonna add some of these things into what I got going on, and we're gonna test them out. We're gonna test them out. I'm gonna put more. I'm gonna take off. I still need the blind. And I wanted to use at least one of these. Didn't I just buy some of this? That's crazy. Okay. I guess it's not showing yet. So I'll take the adding to the physical damage because the magical one, which I thought I bought, is not really reflecting right now. I really thought I bought some of these. That's weird. Confirm. Confirm. Okay. I guess you guys just don't want me buying some of this. Is there not enough liquidity for this? Okay, here we go. Here we go. So it's a Friday night. We big chilling. I think to get the full nostalgia, I want to get some. I want to get some of the actual audio in here. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I hope my voice is still coming through okay. I gotta get used to doing this and having the background music in this as well. I think that's only fair, right? Oh, I gotta remove something. Before I can do. Another- another- So we'll use one new potion. We'll select update. I'll still keep the extra health in there. Yeah, it doesn't let me pick it. That's fine. It might be a little glitch in the system. Just letting y'all know that. So we're gonna go in with this set of potions. Hey, what just happened? Can you guys just stop messing with me? Like, what's going on? Can we not use them yet? Come on. Can we not use them yet? Like, what's going on here? Minus, plus, and then plus. Okay. Like, come on, man. Let me minus. Yeah, it doesn't let me still. Okay. So sorry for being dyslexic, guys. I think I have what I need now. Select. There we go. Approve. And we're gonna jump into this, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Just approve. Just approve, man. And that's the thing about microtransactions, man. I thought I did it right though. Okay, here, approve transaction. This is the thing about approving every single damn transaction. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and approve this stuff. I don't know why it was so hard for me to do all that just now. Oh, so look, this is pretty cool, right? So I have to save it and then I can select it. And okay. And then 91 Karma says these potions exist since 4 months ago. That's crazy. I've been so focused on like summoning for my resurrection army, my awakening army, that I haven't even seen some of these newer potions. That is so crazy. So let's see if I still have any more luck with this. I thought I bought some of them, but whatever. Minus whatever. Okay, so I still have this selected at least, the attack potion. So let's do this, right? I haven't played Bach Hunt with the wizard, let alone not have my normal support team. I just killed it in boars with a team that I normally never put together. I did pretty well, and now we'll see. On this opens up so many opportunities if you can figure out different teams to how many guaranteed wins or guaranteed high efficiency hunt opportunities you can find, especially now that they're a chest. Especially now that they're a chest. So yeah, let's see what kind of luck we have. This is a great way to kind of end the night. For those of us who stream in DeFi Kingdoms, um, a big portion of it is about community, as well. So I have the wizard, seer, and warrior immediately, always rejuvenation stone for my tanker. But lost my train of thought a little bit there. Playing the game and talking about the macro, but yeah, it is hugely also about community. And with that being said, being able to communicate with each other, share things with each other. And I generally enjoy playing this game. It's not hard for me to play this game at all. It's exciting when different patch updates, gameplay updates come out, and I just continue to grow with it. And now I'm more so able to control the liquidity. I can sell my heroes when I need to test out different things. And I can try to get some of those rare equipment that those PvP players are getting by still farming and getting chests, right? I enjoyed that. So right off the bat, this level 18 combination fight is getting critical. My warrior's already blinded. I'm gonna go ahead and unblind him because I need him for damage. My seer is doing good work. I'm gonna use the heal because of my high HP warrior to keep him going. I'm gonna stack this firebolt here to get some arcane power, which is what you see down here, which can add damage to what we have going on. I have used 2 of the 15 stone that I have, but I want to stack damage, right? Don't mind stacking additional damage on the mama box. Same strategy, different combination of heroes. That one stacked beautiful firmly there. Boom. So we're gonna keep, keeping people alive. Body slam early. The higher the level you are, the quicker you're gonna see body slam, right? So this is kind of messed up, right? A lot of critical health damage, and all my players. They're trying to take out my seer. They are trying to take out my seer. Everybody is confused and damaged. My goodness, they may take out my seer, and it may be game over. This experiment might be over before it even started. Oh no, they went for my warrior. Let's go. They went for my warrior. He handled himself well. We're going to immediately throw. Jeez, that was brutal. That was brutal. What the hell was that? Wow. All right, we're going to protect the warrior. I have not been able to attack. That was brutal. My goodness. So I think this is a good time for Whirlwind. I can't keep taking multiple damage like this. This is wild. Whirlwind didn't even land like that. That's crazy work. That's nasty work on RNG. So I still think my Seer will be decent enough where I can still use, Sanctuary just to kind of boost everybody overall. So the Seer is trying to play the role of like what a preacher would, but those delays sometimes can come at a disadvantage. But when you have the high HP tankers up front, especially with heal, I like heal better than priest heals. I like the regular ability heals better than priest heals, like in a moment in time like this. So, all right, he's preparing Whirlwind. I'm not able to build really like good enough arcane power, which is a little disappointing. at this current moment in time. But now I'm just playing like survival instincts, which is why I said when you try out different teams, you're gonna have to be like making great decisions in the start of the third quarter or middle of the third quarter because, like, look, I'm blinded again. Like, this is brutal. You know what I'm saying? This is brutal. I can try a basic attack or to try to confuse him or anything like that. I think this is brutal. So what to do? I'm gonna unblind him and just prepare to be able to put out 2 damage in a row or whatever the case may be. I don't even know what to do myself right now. Good thing is he missed. So let's start seeing if we can start doing some damage to Mama Bach. I'm still gonna use Fireball to build up arcane power. Let's try to see if we can leave the Seer up there for a little bit. Use Death Mark on the baby box to try to disrupt the damage that. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me, son. These misses are crazy. Look at this. This is crazy work. This is crazy work. We're gonna try to throw rejuvenation out there. Take some damage. That's light. One more shot at arcane power. Just like trying to be patient. Try to be patient. Trying to be patient. All right. Firebolt from the wizard. I've used up all the heals. I had 2 heals on the wizard. Like, this is getting to be third quarter here. This is a long, drawn out battle. Like, my guaranteed team that I played with earlier did not have to go through this long, drawn out battle. So let's go ahead and use Whirlwind again to try to disrupt the damage flow from this guy. There we go. All right, now we can try to get rid of the other baby Bach while doing some semblance of a damage. I'm going to move my Seer. I don't think it can really sit in the front and take any more damage. Now we're going to try to set it off. All right, so I'm going to use Fireball on this. I'm going to use Fireball on this baby Bach. Maintain some arcane. Are you serious? Did I just miss again? This might not be it. This might not be it for me tonight. This different strategy that I'm trying out has been brutal. I'm not able to do much damage at all. Even trying to stack up arcane power, it's not. This is better. Like, this is better for boars. At the end of the day, I do feel like this is better for boars. I can't understand why there are so many misses. Maybe because it's a high level and the gameplay is, adjusted a little bit for the high level, but this is brutal, man. Can't do much damage at all. A lot of misses. Yeah, if you've been here with me tonight, thank you. This is what I was going to do on Saturday anyway. The wife is out and I got some time to myself and I said, oh, I haven't streamed in a while. Maybe I can stream the gameplay that I've been doing for a while now. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely been fun. It's been fun. I'm not going to attack this baby Bach in the back because I do think that in his next turn it will go away. Let's try to inflame Mama Bach in preparation of killing and going for the final shot because I cannot maintain this for too much longer. This is going to be brutal. Running out of mana, running out of stones. I do think that my warrior needs a little bit of healing. I don't want to see body slam again, but there's a chance that I may get that. I'm going to use my combo here with the rapid onslaught because I want to get that Mama Bach as low as possible. That was a terrible move right there. Didn't take too much damage. But I think we're setting up. Kill shot opportunity is here. The warrior was able to handle that. We do have to heal him ASAP, which already we were planning for that. Beautiful. All right. Now we want to go for the kill shot. And I'm like contemplating, should I use Firestorm or should I go, the Pyro? And I think I'll go the Pyro. I'm gonna turn the heat all the way up. Max it up in the arcane power. Let's see what we get out of it. In the meantime, I do have some health potions left. Do I want to heal my warrior just in case things don't go well for me? I ain't no pussy, but don't kill me. We're gonna go for it, but we're gonna combo it up just in case. Splash. All right. Then this is tough. But I'm gonna give him a heal just in case things don't go all the way right. Speed my seer up a little bit. Splash. There we go. Oh no. I took too much away. He's gonna turn. And the worst thing is that Mama Bach, right? If she lays another egg, it's just gonna create so much more of a hassle for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for trying to heal everybody. Right? If that's the last thing the seer does is leave some healing for the rest of my crew, I'm good with that, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is I could use speed, but I just want to get rid of that Mama Bach. And I just hope it doesn't lay another egg. If it does, it's gonna be more trouble for me, but I think we can still do this. This is third quarter. Big decisions to be dang it. Big decisions to be made. But yeah, I don't think this is going to work out for me. But, that's another miss. That's the wizard there for you. I think very, very successful in Bach hunts. And it's going to take some time before we figure out what that combination is with the wizard to do well in hunts. But if you guys have been doing well with the wizard in the Bach hunts, and you have some additional information that can help me, feel free to pass it along. I'm an open book. And okay, the seer's not doing too bad, so I'm gonna actually give it the last stone that I have. Right? You might say that's not a good decision, but it's a bit of a war of attrition right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and try to disrupt him with my wizard. Didn't get it. Yeah, it's looking bad. Yeah, it's looking real bad. So yeah, not the greatest. But it was worth trying it out. I had a great streak. I didn't get any resurrection. So you're not always gonna have your best nights. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta try. Especially with some of these newer heroes that we got here as we're figuring out the summoning flow. So I'm gonna use my last bit of mana, everything I have, to try to take out one of these creatures here. But this doesn't look good, right? And sometimes you gotta know when to bow out. So I think I will be bowing out of this. I don't see a great future ahead of us. No chest this night, but you're not gonna win all nights. Some nights would be great, some nights would be not so much. This wasn't a great one to finish off with, but I went 3 for 4, I believe, or 2 for 3. I think I went 2 for 3 in hunts, which is not bad. And I will reset this and try it again with this same squad, but not on stream. Yeah, valiant effort. You gotta try. You gotta give it a shot. But yeah. I see a bunch of people have popped in, or what it looks like, more than before. It's been a long night. We've gone through a lot of things. I love all the new features that have been in the game. We talked about Grid Divine Essence. We looked at the charts. We went and talked about our future, aspects with this game. Run this back. you'll see a lot of different things. I have Mega on with me, playing my favorite blockchain game, the recent updates, where I see things going, all the questions we have that we've been asking ourselves when we play in this game. And we just hung out, played the game, and talked about some of the thoughts we had. And is DFK dead? I think far from it. A lot of strength in the new features, a lot of strength in the Honk ecosystem, the Honk token, the Honk liquidity pools, which are marvelous to see. And I do think that in the long run, if you have a macro outlook, right, find your legion, claim your legacy. That there is a legacy to be claimed from this game, and it's generally fun for me to play it. So what I'm going to leave us with, and is the biggest thing is, no matter what happens, bull market, bear market, we do have a community. And I'm going to end up playing Sarge Filthy McNasty, a tribute that he made to the community to kind of end the show. And it was the mosque. What is it called? He used a certain title for it. It was, I called the Moscow video, but he had a particular name for it. But community is huge. All right, community is huge in its ecosystem. Hey, why isn't this thing turning off? Community is huge in its ecosystem. And it's fun to be here. The community is what makes the ecosystem as well. And this little tribute from Sarge, make sure that you go and follow his page here. It's just a nice omen to end everything on, because it speaks to the fact that, look, not enough cooks. Yeah, thank you, what the DFK. It is not enough cooks. Okay, but he dedicated to the the content creators, in the community. It was fun to see. I had a little joke on X about it. Because I saw my character and I was like, dude, why does my character not look like, a black man? But I really thought about it and I'm like, hold on. If I was Russian, and it's funny, with not funny, but with all the stuff going on globally, Ukraine, Russia, politics, things of that nature, it's cool to know that I'm in a niche ecosystem. With gaming, it's fun as a community. Even got a chance to hang out with T Heat of the Jewelers this weekend and watch the Knicks game, and it was pretty fun, right? So community is very important. I see it. It's what's going to get us through these bear markets, and those who were in and had faith is what's going to bring us prosperity, or at least we hope, as we move down the line. So this graphic that we see here is me and Mega in this last token, the send off that we have here. But it has a Russian feel. So if I was Russian, this would be me, right? And if Mega was Russian, this would be him. And if you stay till the end of this, I'm gonna throw out the meme that I used for Sergeant Filthy McNasty at the end of this as well. So let's watch this. Shout out to Sarge. I will be catching you guys. I don't know the next time that I'm gonna stream. I don't know the next time I'm gonna stream. I'm moving, and so that's why, like, these 2-hour streams, these 3-hour streams, they may happen more, but they won't happen as frequent. I do think at the back end of tournaments, I am going to jump into 1 or 2 or 3, but right now I am building my Legion, my Resurrection Dead Army Zombie Legion, and it's absolutely fun doing that. I would love to hear what you guys are doing on your end. If you've been here this long and you haven't put a thumbs up or subscribed yet, make sure to do so, because not only do I do the gaming portion of things, gameplay, but we do the tokens portion of things, the charts, and where the real value is. So if you enjoyed any of that or enjoyed yourself tonight, make sure to come back. Put your alarm on and the notifications on for when we do come back, whether it's a few weeks or a few days from now. But to the DFK community, for those who have been here, for the streamers, a little bit of a community feel with a little bit of a Russian accent to it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your summer. Peace.
Aus rotem Gold, kalt wie das Eis. Moskau, doch wer dich wirklich kennt, der weiß ein Feuer brennt, in dir so heiß. Beten in dein Glas ist leer, doch im Keller ist noch mehr.